hit that like, comment, and subscribe button.
Introduce them.
For my
You guys good?
Yes, sir. We are good. I'm with TrainerOblivioYT, and I'm with SargePlayz. And today, we are going to be talking about Pokemon's 30th anniversary with the two goats. It's about to be a crazy stream. I feel like it's going crazy. And first and foremost, SargeOblivio, if you guys want to say hi to everybody or do some introductions, let's get it. Let's start with
Appreciate that.
I guess Oblivio. What's good?
Appreciate that. Thank you for the intro. Once again, I just want to reiterate for everybody here coming through. I'm joined by Jason Hendricks and SargePlayz tonight. We're going to be discussing a lot of the yo Noah, thanks for being in the stream. We're going to be discussing a lot of predictions, a lot of talk about Pokemon's 30th anniversary. We just want to talk a little bit more about all of the news that's ongoing too. Anything that you guys might want to speculate, we'd be happy to chat with you guys as well. And of course, if you guys haven't give Sarge or Jason Hendricks any love, follow them on their socials. You can find them on YouTube. You can find them on Twitch. And let's just spread the love, guys.
While Jason's on a phone call, I'll go to introduce myself. Sarge is what I go by online. The channel rebranded to SargePlayz last year. Started covering a lot of Pokemon content. Been a Pokemon fan since Red and Blue days. But yeah, tomorrow gonna be a big day. 30 years Pokemon.
Crazy word
to think about. You know what I mean? It's like it's 30 years already. So I'm only hoping for the biggest and the best. You know, they got the little stuff they're going to cover, which we'll dive into when we get to that part. But, you know, I think it's going to be a beautiful Pokemon Presents in the fact that we can appreciate something that we had as a child and see it flourish and succeed. And it's even still growing and expanding till today. So it's going to be awesome, man. It's going to be awesome.
I'm certainly hoping for it.
Yeah. And, like, the one thing I like about Pokemon is that, like, even though, like, good, bad, or indifferent, how you feel about it, it has stand the test of time. At the end of the day, whether you like it or hate it, you still gonna play it. It's like Pokemon is like the heel of the industry. Like, you're just gonna have to do it. But Oblivio, what were you gonna say?
I was just saying I'm hoping for it. I hate to be the cynic between you two, but I'm definitely going to be bringing the heat when it comes to this 30th anniversary. Yeah, I'm definitely going to be a little bit opposed to some of these things because as much as I do love the Pokemon Company, Noah, to answer your question, no, I'm not hearing the blurps. Banana Boners, thanks for coming to the stream. I appreciate you. This is Jason. We're joined by Jason Hendricks and SargePlayz today for this special prediction stream. We're going to be doing a lot of discussion and mostly, I'm just going to toss these ideas back and forth with you guys. I think we had a topic that we were just kind of starting off with. I don't know if we want to follow up with it or what direction
I think
we want
it's
to take.
about time that we should. But okay, so everybody in the chat, let us know how you feel about just like, give us your predictions first and foremost. Like, everybody, make sure you throw your predictions, what you think we're going to get tomorrow and stuff. But let's start off with this first topic. Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green was a game that pretty much was leaked, I'd say about like a couple weeks ago. Everybody was excited until Pokemon dropped the game, I'd say like last Friday or Saturday, whenever they shadow dropped it. When it was shadow dropped, at first it was very exciting until later that day when people started to realize that there's a couple things that you cannot do. You can't online trade and you can't online battle. Basically, the game is more than likely a one-to-one. However, we don't know because Pokemon Day, they could show whatever. But I wanted to have this first debate topic between Sarge and Oblivio because Sarge and myself too, we're cool with it. But Oblivio, he's not a big fan. So I'm going to let Sarge give the first standing topics of like, why is okay? Why is the game, you know, why are people overblowing it? And then after that, Oblivio, you can rebuttal. Give your rebut.
Word.
Okay. Well, I mean, we got to think about it. When is the last time they did this? Was it the 3DS era, 20th anniversary?
Yeah, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Now I'm not gonna sit here and act like this is the best thing to happen to Pokemon, but I think it's a good step in the right direction for certain things. Now, am I fully happy with the drop? I'm happy to relive my childhood, yeah, and I think it's great because it puts the Switch in a position to become the next ultimate Pokemon device, right? They did it with the 3DS. Everybody went crazy, bought that. It was like $8 back then. Things have changed now. Um, but I do have I have its pros and cons. If I were to give it a percentage on how I feel personally, I'm like 70. No, I would say I'm 60-40. And that 40%, I do have gripes with the release of Fire Red and Leaf Green. I'm not gonna say here and be 100% all the way and say, yo, Nintendo rocks, dude. I cannot believe they did this, because it does have some mishaps. And but I think the golden opportunity right here is Pokemon, and I like to use the phrase testing the waters, because they haven't released all of them. But I think they're probably trying to see what is the reaction for them to eventually release like Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, so forth and so forth. But I think there are some opportunities that they did miss, which once Oblivio goes, we can go ahead and compare those notes. But I do have some reserves about Fire Red and Leaf Green that I'm not happy with. But for the most part, I'm 60% on the side of, I think it's probably the right move right now for the 30th anniversary and what it means to the fans.
All right, Oblivio, it's time for you to give your rebuttal and show
Okay.
us what the other opposite side of the community, because on Twitter, everybody was so angry and everybody's rallying and just crashing out on Twitter over a game that costs $20. Oblivio's on you.
All right, I appreciate that. I think that was a really fair assessment of pretty much exactly what Sarge was saying about what's going on with um, with the Switch and its compatibility and them dropping the games and everything. Here's my gripes on what exactly the issue is for me, right? Now, I'm going to address a couple of gripes that I've seen on Twitter, a couple of gripes that I've heard in the community that just kind of need to be flat out just kind of kicked out of the water, so we're not going over the same nonsense over and over again. The first one I would say is, oh, why didn't they put it on Nintendo Switch Online? Well, that's very easy. The Pokemon Company has a very massive problem with with its shiny community, a huge problem with the shiny community, as you guys already know, with all of the shiny uh the all the shiny bots and all the shiny farming and all that other stuff, where and like it'd be great if the shiny community was collaborative in the form of like, okay, now we have new methods to hunt. But no, most of the time, unfortunately, it's we got a new bot. We have a new bot that's going to make it super simple to do this and that, and I'm just going to hand them out like candy, and it just makes it just defeats the purpose, first of all, and it just makes the shinies pretty much obsolete, which that's a whole different topic for a whole nother time. But I think the issue here is that they wouldn't want to put this on Nintendo Switch Online, because that would become the reality. People would just have a save file or a save state where they would have the same kind of shiny and just farm it. And like in the best case scenario, it's an actual streamer that actually hunted the shiny and got it full odds, and they just want to keep that save state there so they can give it to their viewers. That's cool. But in reality, it's going to be a bot that's playing the game that's going to continue to do it over and over and over again and just farm it and ship it out to whoever. And so that's why that's an issue. So we are going to fully understand why they had to um put it on the eShop, and we're going to fully understand the reasonings for behind that. I'm also not entirely mad at that fact, because they could have done the normal Pokemon Company greed route, and they could have slapped a $40, $60 title on a ban for ban, like frame for frame exact copy of the exact game, and they could have gypped a bunch of the community. That would have really pissed me off, because then I would have been like, this is just corporate greed. Like, they don't even care that at this point. They're just gypping you guys. But they didn't. They were conscious of the fact. They gave it a little $19.99 price tag. That's all right. That's valid. Okay, counterpoint, they could easily disable the save state. They did it for the 3DS Virtual Console. Yes, and I'm with you there. I was going to get to that point. They could disable that. So I'm with you on that point, but at least they didn't slap a full, they didn't go the BDSP route, where they literally made the same game frame for frame and slapped a brand new price tag on it. That shit is so annoying, with the exception of the Grand Underground and the shiny or the legendaries at the end. But yes, could they have disabled the save state? They really could have. They could have just made it easier, more streamlined to do resets, so that way. But that could get complicated, because I could see how it would only apply to the Pokemon games on the Nintendo Switch Online, and I see how that could be an issue. But I agree with that point entirely, Chimchar. Thank you for bringing it up. My gripe with this, though, is the fact that, and it's funny because it's just a personal gripe. It's got nothing to do with the community or anything like that. Is the fact that when I went to go look for my Fire Red and my Leaf Green, my Fire Red stopped working. I don't know why, because I was using it during Safari week, and it was working perfectly fine. And then I try to boot it up again, and it just won't work. And I'm like, well, this is great. Yeah. And then my Leaf Green, my niece has it, and my niece lives in Florida, and I don't live in Florida anymore.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of in this position where I have to get Fire Red and Leaf Green again. And thankfully, this is one of the points that I do want to make for it, right? Is if you try to find an authentic copy of Fire Red and Leaf Green right now, you can literally go Google it right now. It's not going to be anything cheaper than $200. Easy. It's not going to be anything cheaper than 200 bones.
Yeah.
So that's unfortunate, because if you really do want the authentic experience and you want to go through and you want to trade those Pokemon up from those previous generations, like I've done in the past before, you can't do that without having to spend a good $200, $300, $400, and it's just unfortunate. So now they're making it available for a grand total of 40, but if you just buy one version exclusive, then you're good. However, things that I really do hate: the fact that it doesn't have online compatibility. That should have been a given. I feel like it should have. I can kind of see where they'll run into some issues if they did do that, but it just should have been a given. Like, they had the way that they had the capability to do the what was it, the infrared, the IR. I wonder how easy Ace will be in the Switch version. I wonder too. But the way that they were able to do the IR, the infrared trading back in the day for Gen 3, I feel like with the Switch's capability, they could have easily just tweaked that and made it into online. And then that way, we can trade each other the trade evolutions, and things will be great. And if you have a shiny you want to share with a friend, you can go ahead and do that. It doesn't have to just be local. So I do have a complaint about that. Mm-hmm. And I also do have a complaint about the fact that, like, I don't know. I feel like they've been lagging behind with a lot of this home compatibility stuff. And I know that they've been working hard on this 30th anniversary. I really do hope that tomorrow we're pleasantly surprised with what happens. Yeah. But we still don't have ZA compatibility. I wonder when we're going to get Fire Red or Leaf Green compatibility.
Before we get to ZA. But like, let's just say like this, right? Before I get to the next question for you guys, my whole thing about Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green is that, like, it's a 30th anniversary. They did this on the 20th anniversary when they gave us, like red, blue, yellow, and then they gave us crystal, gold, and silver, and we couldn't online battle or do not anything like that on there, just like we both said before. Personally, it's $20. Think about it like this, right? And I remember I was talking in the Discord with some of the people in my community. There are people, like, guys, you guys need to understand, there are people that's like younger than us. Like, we're almost as old as Pokemon. There's people whose first generation
first Pokemon game was Scarlet and Violet.
Yes, there's people whose first Pokemon game is Sun and Moon. It's for us, but just think about, like, just like you said, you have a niece that has Leaf Green. Like, not a lot of people have accessible. Like, last year, before Nintendo screwed me over with the Switch 2 by putting GameCube NSO and all that stuff on their stuff, I was going on a mission where I was going to do like Pokemon, I was going to do a Gen 3 arc where I was going to play like everything Gen 3, right? Do you understand how expensive it is? Like a Game Boy player with the disc, that's like pretty much $300. 180 if you're lucky. A GB operator, that's like what? I think that's like maybe $80 or $50 or something like that. But like, bro, I say this all the time. Bro, this cost me like 200 bills. Fire Red is in my GameCube. That cost me like 160 or so. If you get Leaf Green, it's going to be a little bit more expensive. Not to mention, why is nobody mad about like Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness? Because it's going to be the same thing. Like, you're not going to be able to battle people online in XD Gale of Darkness. And if you want to have an argument, that game looks visually appealing. Like, why are we not mad that we're not getting XD Gale of Darkness and Coliseum and we could buy it like we can do Fire Red and Leaf Green? Because I feel like that's a way better argument. Pokemon Company, why can't we buy these games when we could buy these two? Because those two games, in my opinion, are really good. Or so like that. Shiny Hunting's kind of trash, but you know, that's a different story.
True.
But let's go through for our next topic, right? So, Pokemon Champions, right?
Mm-hmm.
How do you guys? I've been hearing a lot of things about Pokemon Champions, and we're gonna segue into Sarge. And like, how do you feel about Pokemon Champions? Do you think it's gonna be Shadow Drop tomorrow? And if not tomorrow, when do you feel it's an appropriate time for Pokemon Champions? First Sarge and then Oblivio.
My wish list would be, drop it tomorrow, right? Because it's got to be used by this year. You got to give these players time to adjust to the new system, make sure they have everything, patted down before the World Championship.
Right.
And how many months do you technically need to learn a new, not even a new format? This would just be a brand new system altogether, right? A whole new way, other than Scarlet and Violet, which we've been doing for what, 3 years now for the competitive scene.
Yeah.
My hope would be, Shadow drop it tomorrow. But if you don't and you get a release date, maybe within the next week or so. I mean, but if they're gonna do like a week or so, it's kind of like, hey, kind of drop it. Now, looking on Twitter, there's a couple of people that have some reliable sources and stuff like that. And somebody said, man, I hope they really shadow drop Pokemon Champions tomorrow, but I doubt that they'll do that. All they did was leave a comment under somebody saying, are you sure about that? So I don't know. I'm hoping Champions comes out because that would be great for everybody to kind of get their feet in the water with competitive Pokemon, especially if it's, I don't want to say simplified, but if it's as more, I don't want to say simplified, but I feel like it's just more streamlined, I guess, to kind of get into competitive and learn how to train Pokemon compared to what it is now, especially compared to what it was back in the day. So I don't know. Hopefully we get to enjoy it after the presents. If not, hopefully a couple of days after.
All right, Oblivio.
It would be my hope that they actually release Champions tomorrow, and this is my reasons for why. So I'll start by saying what I don't want them to release tomorrow. What I don't want them to release is information about Gen 10. Unfortunately, I've already heard some reliable sources that they are going to release information about Gen 10, and it's pretty much confirmed. Sorry for anybody who didn't want spoilers, but that's kind of what we're discussing right now. Tomorrow, there's pretty it's like a 70-30 at this point, and I would probably say even more that tomorrow they're going to announce Gen 10 for sure. I wish they wouldn't. I wish they'd give it a little bit more time, and I know that's crazy to hear in the Pokemon community because I'm sorry, love you guys, I really do. I am part of the Pokemon community, but if the Pokemon company put a piece of a turd and put the Pokemon logo over it, you guys would eat it up, and that's crazy.
But
you need more self-respect.
Obliv, before we get to Gen 10, as you who's really good at competitive battling and stuff like that, right? what do you feel like we're gonna get, or what do you feel like we're gonna see once Pokemon Champions comes out? Or what do all right, let's do this. What are your hopes for Pokemon Champions? Like, what are game modes, and then Sarge, Oblivio, and then Sarge? What are you hopeful, or what do you want to see? And then after that, I'll give mine's last after Sarge.
Like what do we want to see like within the game itself?
Yeah, like what kind of modes, like what kind of like
I got something
features
for that. Okay.
and stuff like that.
Right. So I think that Champions is kind of poised to be the Pokemon Company's answer to Showdown. So Showdown's obviously been huge in the community for a while, where people go on there and they just do whatever they can for their battles. So I want to hope that that's their answer for Showdown. And what I pray, it's a long shot and a long shot in the dark, but what I pray is that it's set up in a similar fashion. So with Showdown, there's a bunch of settings, there's a bunch of rules. You can do NU battles, you can do UU battles, OU battles, and these are the different, for those who don't know, they're different tiers in Pokemon competitive. There's free for alls, you can do legend spam, you can do whatever you want there. You set it up how you want, you battle people within that community to do it that way too. I understand that they're going to try to make a game, but I just pray that it's detailed like that, where if you want to do the legend spam and the brainless whatever, go for it. Have fun. Do your thing. Be brainless and spam Astral Barrage with your Spectrier. Nobody cares. But then when there are people that actually genuinely want to compete and have some seriously fun battles, I hope that there's modes for that too. I hope that there's a place where you can go, you can do whatever grind you need to do to get your Pokemon battle ready, and then you could just go in and hash it out with whatever trainers there is there. I hope that there is a ranking system. I hope that there's rewards for this ranking system. I hope that the further up you go in this ranking system, you start to develop, you get certain unlockables, you get certain whatever, even if it's like a badge or something. Sonny, what's up? Thanks for coming to the stream. I appreciate you. I hope that it's just something that you can flex and just be like, I've gotten this far in this rank, and that would be a lot of fun. I think I would enjoy that thoroughly. You would probably find me hanging out in the RU and NU tiers, just ripping it up, because I'll probably stay away from OU and Ubers.
Okay, so Sarge, now your turn. What are the features and all that stuff?
So I did a video covering like a little bingo board of what I expected to see for Pokemon Day, and I had two things on there for Pokemon Champions. We either get the Shadow Drop announcement or we get a final trailer. And in the final trailer, if they were to say, hey, here's more to talk about in depth with Pokemon Champions, and then at the end they give like a reveal, right? I want to see them show off Dynamaxing, the Z moves, right? The other gimmicks that we have in the game. When it comes to the game itself, I've seen a lot of people on the internet talk about they got to have some kind of story progression. I don't know how that would work. I don't know if it would take like the Masters EX route, right? Kind of just like little simple things to kind of grind quests. But I don't know if they would, because Champions is for strictly VGC and the battling, right? For competitive. But I think we need to see more variety as far as game modes, because they're going to want to they're going to want to what's the word I'm looking for? They're going to want to tailor to the masses, right? And you're going to need both competitive and casual.
Yeah.
And this will bring in people that, maybe were curious. This is going to bring in people like myself that have dabbled into it and maybe want to take it a little bit more seriously.
Yeah.
And then others that are like really into the competitive niche. Now, I think they should have some game modes like, a rank ladder, casual lobbies like we know that they talked about for just like regular battles. But also maybe there were some comments that I got from my community that said, what if they had different challenges, right? Maybe you could go through and there's like events where we take on gym leaders from different regions, and we can kind of, stuff like that, just to kind of grind and earn the VP.
Yeah.
And then from there we get the VP, right? And then we can just kind of go and train our Pokemon and then, get on the ladder. But I don't know if there would be a lot of different quote unquote game modes for Pokemon Champions. I know a lot of people question, is this going to be something that can withstand the test of time? Well, I mean, it's going to have to, right? If it's the new form of VGC. But I don't know if they'll be worried about how they make the casual players stay. You know, if they're going to be adding different events or different things, different game modes like the gym leader challenges, or whatever the case is. But I do hope they have some kind of variety of things, even for us that want to grind this game, to not make it feel like a grind machine over and over and over for VP. But in the end, you know what you're getting into with champions, BGC, straight battling, and if that's what you love, I feel like you're gonna like it regardless whether they announce something fire or not. With it's you're not gonna please everybody, and I guarantee you, there's gonna be some people that see everything for champions tomorrow and are still gonna be pissed off. But yeah, I just feel like there's a few ways you can go about it, and fingers
like,
crossed for the shadow drop.
and the thing about Pokemon champions and stuff like that is just to pick up of like what you said and stuff like that. Like, when it comes to Pokemon champions, like, they have to make it casual friendly, which might like piss off like half the fan base, because they're gonna simplify it. It's just like how when it's like Tekken or Street Fighter, how like the newer games, you could just press 2 buttons and you could do a combo. So I feel like there's going to be some sort of like thing that's going to piss off the community. However, it's going to make things fair, because there are people who have been playing VGC. Secondly, I feel like it's going to be successful because Pokemon has become very popular in the coming years in competitive battling, to the point where like they have to make the price go higher if you want to go to local tournaments or something like that, just to deter people from joining, because like there's a lot of people that join.
There's a lot of people joining now.
There's a lot of
they're
people joining.
It's getting bigger and bigger every year.
And like the thing about Pokemon is like it's just growing more and more. When we talk about Pokemon cards, when we talk about the games and all that stuff, like Pokemon champions or so like that, I feel like is going to usher in this new set of like VGC players, and like they don't even know, like the game is about to go crazy. Like, it might be the Fortnite of Pokemon. It just might be the Fortnite.
It just might be.
Huh?
It just might be, yeah.
Yeah. Like when you think about it, right? Basically what I want to see in the game, or my hopes for it, is that they give us our own character. We have our own battle hub. We have to think about how this game is somehow going to get funded, because we're going to have to pay some type of money, and it's going to have to be either cosmetics or so like that. So we need to figure out, like, are they going to make
I
us
did want to
pay?
ask you guys that question.
Yeah.
Fair. Whenever I wanted to see what are y'all's thoughts on, as far as like how the game's going to be funded, because they say VP can't be quote unquote directly purchased, right? But could it be obtained through something like, maybe you get a couple VP here and there through like the form of a battle pass, right? Or is anything, which hopefully everything monetary would be strictly cosmetic for our characters, maybe the background, like in Unite, you can change your trainer icon, stuff like that. But how do y'all feel this would be monetized?
How I feel like it would be monetized is basically, I really feel like they're going to give us a player hub, and I really feel like they're going to give us our own characters. Whether it might not be 3D, like I hope it's going to be, where you can have your own like little hub where you could just have people come through. For example, like a Street Fighter or a Tekken, where it's like, okay, like you have your own little like pictogram person character, and then you just go and you just talk to somebody, hey, you want to battle or so? If so, it's just like, yo, we're just gonna have a PNG and you could just pay for like outfits or so like that. Or you could re-roll characters like a gotcha. Oblivio, will pass it to you. What do you think? Like, how will they monetize?
Bring whatever gets monetized is exactly what you guys are talking about, which is something cosmetic, something inconsequential to the game, something that doesn't necessarily have to do with the game itself. So I don't want this to be a pay to win, right? Because that's where things go downhill. That's where things become annoying. We're like, oh, okay, just because you paid for this extra perk, now you have holy shit. Now that you have this extra perk, you've got, like a better opportunity. Exactly. I don't want paywalls to exist in the game, better opportunities to exist just because you did this you bought this certain medicine or something, and now you have an unfair advantage over everybody else in the game. That's silly. That makes no sense. But if we can, bless you, if we can find something to circumvent that, or like find something that can get us and like you guys said, the money. So if we can find a, really the only thing I can think of is something cosmetic like that, like a cosmetic thing or some kind of a plaque or medal or something that wouldn't necessarily really ruin the playability of the game. That's the only thing that I'm concerned about. As long as we get something like that, I'm perfectly fine with however the game turns out for that aspect. And as Noah was pointing out, um, in knowing me, I would be stupid enough to join OU and Ubers with something dumb and still win.
Yeah.
So,
And the thing
you're
too
probably
is, what do you guys think about the Omni Ring? Like, I feel like a lot of people don't talk about it, about the function. Basically, the Omni Ring is basically every gimmick in the palm of your hand, right? We know that we're gonna have terrestrialization, Dynamaxing, and Z moves. Do you first? What do you think about it? One, and then two. Do you think that we'll add more? Do you think Pokemon Company will add more gimmicks into that Omni Ring? Sarge, you go first.
Okay. Well, before we dive into that, I did have a question before, right? Because they made it very clear that you can't purchase it, right? It's not going to be a pay to win type thing. But they did announce that there's going to be a Pokemon Champion starter bundle for purchase when it's available. What do you guys think is going to be in that starter bundle? Like, first off, why would we need a starter bundle?
I think that the starter bundle might be something to where, like, we're just gonna have to pay for, like, there's gonna be some type of like pay to win aspect, and basically it's gonna be that, like, you've seen Pokemon TCG Pocket where you get a lot of gems and stuff like that, and then you get more cards. It could be that you know how there's in-game Pokemon in the game.
Yeah.
It might be like a gotcha-esque element where it's like you pay for these, like, and then you get the Pokemon or so like that. It might roll, because it's like when you think about it, nobody's asked the question of how we're gonna get the Pokemon.
Yeah, I wanted to touch that topic after
But
after the
it
next
might
question.
be gotcha. Like it really might be like where it's like you go into, like, because like I said, there's gonna be a mobile game element, and we already know, like, every mobile game that has a console thing, they're pretty much 1-in-1 and stuff. Like we're gonna see it. Will people be mad about it? Yeah, but like that's the reason why we have Pokemon Home. Go get Pokemon Home and just send your Pokemon in there. But Oblivia, what do you think?
I think, I'm so sorry. Could you repeat the original question, just because we touched on a lot of things there? But the question that you asked before this, could you repeat that?
Yeah, you wanted me to touch on something, and I came back to the starter bundle.
The starter bundle. Sorry. Yeah. So starter bundle. Yeah, I think it's gonna be, well, pretty much what you guys already touched on. Like, I hate having a feeling like I keep saying that or trailing behind, but you guys kind of already hit that point, which is like it's just gonna be something to start off with the game. I hope it's not something that gives like an unfair advantage or anything like that. I hope that it's something that is definitely like level set or something that it just gives maybe like nothing that's a competitive edge is what I'm hoping goes on in there. But your question that you asked Sarge, did you want me to touch on that, or you want Sarge to go first on that still?
Okay, let's go to you. Basically, the question was, what do you think about the Omni Ring, and do you think we'll get more gimmicks?
Moondrop, thanks for coming to the stream. I appreciate you. We're having some discussion. So the Omni Ring, I think the Omni Ring is, for all intents and purposes, I think that the Omni Ring is cool. I like the idea of the Omni Ring. Well, that's why I still once again heavily believe that this is their response to Pokemon Showdown, because you can use pretty much all of the gimmicks. Yeah, Dapper Gumi, you can go ahead and throw your opinion. We're just having discussion, so you can definitely let us know what you think. But I like the idea of the Omni Ring, but I have my own special like opinion on it, basically, which is I like I would like it if I revisited what I was talking about before, which is the separation of like if there's a mode where the Omni Ring is present and you can use every gimmick, go for it. But I would also love a mode where it's like Megas only or Terra only or Dynamax only, because I promise you I will be terrorizing those Dynamax lobbies because I adore Dynamaxing and Gigantamaxing. For me, that's my favorite gimmick. I hate Megas. I think they're unbalanced and overpowered. Terra's okay, but I love Dynamaxing. It gives everybody a fair shot, and it is so badass. That's what I like. So yes, seclusion modes exactly. If we can have the Omni Ring where we have all for one, go for it. You can have a battle where you bring your Primal Groudon, and then you bring your Mega Blaziken, and then you bring your Terrestrialized whatever, and then you bring your Dynamax, whatever, fuck it, have fun. You have fun with that mess. That's great. But if I can also have a mode where I can only do this and I'm not met with everyone's Primal, Mega, Terra, and Dynamax, then that's fine. I'm okay with that.
Because
I think
like
it circles back to like. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jason.
No. Because I feel like you were gonna ask another question.
No, I was just gonna say it kind of circles back to like the different game modes, right? Like I feel like if they're gonna do, we don't know what they're gonna do as far as like um different seasons, regulation. They might come out one where it's like, hey, megas and terrestrialized only, right? Or they might mix and match. But I think the feature of the Omni Ring having these gimmicks, right? And then we got Gen 10 coming up. Eventually they'll add whatever gimmick is in there.
Right.
But yeah, I think they're gonna add and keep it, fresh as far as I can tell. As far, like keep, try not to make it so repetitive. But I think, to Oblivio's point, like, having modes where you can just kind of like solo just one thing. Like if that's your thing, like if megas are your thing, go crazy, right? If if Z moves are your thing, go crazy. But if you want to like customize it and make custom matches where, you can, pin one against the other and that's what you want to, I mean, I think that would be good. So I think the Omni Rings fire. I think it's a good idea to bring in all the gimmicks that we've had and, keep it's going to add an interesting competitive way to how you approach whatever the meta is going to be that season.
True.
Yeah. And the thing about Pokemon Champions or so like that is that I feel like it's gonna keep adding upon like with more stuff. I hope that like they incorporate other things like Shadow Pokemon. I think that would be a fun match. That like they give you a set team and you got one or two Pokemon that's a Shadow Pokemon and you have to like somehow deal with that situation. I want to see other gimmicks in other games be used or so.
Absolutely.
Like I think that would be cool. I feel like it would make it fresh where it's like it's probably not like the main OU, but just something like that. Another thing I would like to see.
Can I piggyback off of that real quick?
Yeah, of course.
So that's actually a really interesting concept. I'm just going to read a couple of comments here real quick just to add on to what we were all talking about. So Dapper Gumi says, I think the Omni Ring is a cool in concept, but not in execution. I feel like instead of all of them being usable, make them into different sections. That's what we're talking about. That would be good. You're seeing Shadow Lugia again. Nice Moondrop. Noah says, I'm going to say it. If there's no seclusion modes, Champions is going to be hot garbage. I can agree, but there are people that will enjoy it. So Shadow Wobbuffet would be nuts. But to piggyback off of Jason's point real quick, there's a lot of fun things that have been brought up over the years in Pokemon that I feel like they have really good opportunity, just like Jason said, to bring into Champions. Like if they did Shadow Pokemon, if there was like a Shadow Cup or something like that, or like a tournament where you can only bring Shadow Pokemon, not only would it have inclusion of Pokemon Go, where you can bring your Shadow Pokemon over Pokemon Go, but if they ended up, and we know that they're going to do it since they showed it off, but with the Nintendo Switch Online, if they once they bring over the Gale of Darkness and Colosseum, if they make those compatible, you can also bring those Shadow Pokemon over, and it would just be fun because Shadow Pokemon are super effective against everything, and it would just kind of be fun to see. But another point to make about that: inverse battles were fun. They were slept on in Gen 6, but they were fun as hell. If they could bring in like an inverse battle cup or something like that, that would be hilarious to see like an aggro go down to quick attack. Yeah, that's right. Rotation battles, triple battles. That would be fun to see them bring back. I think that would be really nice.
Before I ask my next question, Joshua, Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green is coming out after the direct. They said it is coming out right after the direct. If you want to know, it's coming out.
I don't say that, dude. I was reading your chat.
Yeah, no, like because like Joshua keep asking it, and I'm like, yo, Joshua, I answered the question. It's coming out right after. Like just literally like, bro, all you have to do is what,
go to sleep, wake up, watch a direct, play it. There you go. That's all you gotta do.
Watch the direct. They're gonna be like,
I'm gonna pick up Fire Red. I'm gonna pick up Fire Red right now.
Yeah, like I'm guaranteed what's gonna happen is they're gonna announce Fire Red. We're all gonna be like, skip it, and then at the end of it, oh, you can now play it. So now you're good. What is an inverse battle?
Oh no. Well, I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna be an asshole. Let me explain. So in Gen 6, there was something called inverse battles, right? And inverse battles were a lot of fun because what you could do with them is all of the type matchups get inversed, if that makes sense. So they get reversed. So basically what happens is that if if you have a water type, it's weak to fire instead of the other way around. If you have an electric type, it's super effective against ground instead of the other way around.
Okay.
So it was really funny where you could set up where like an Aggron that's like rock and steel is 4 times resistant to normal, but now it's 4 times weak to normal. So you can body an Aggron with like a quick attack, and it's just hilarious.
Okay. So basically, Sarge, I wanted to ask this, right? With everything that's happening on the direct tomorrow, right? What is something that you don't want to see in the direct? Like, you know it's gonna come, but like, what are things that like you're just like, bro, skip? Because Pokemon does this every year, and then we'll go to Oblivio and stuff. Like, there gotta be some things that like you just like, bro, like I don't care about this.
I don't care about any of the okay, hold on. Because TCG Pocket does fall under mobile, right? But I don't care for anything Pokemon Sleep related, Masters related, Cafe Remix related. I know they're probably going to talk about Pokemon Concierge.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people like it. I've yet to see it. Am I going to be stoked when I see another trailer for another season? Probably not. And then we're probably going to see something about that that thing that got announced last year, that Surfetched and Pichu movie and stuff like that. I'm not gonna be over the moon for it, right? I'm just kind of like, yo, push that aside, get to the real stuff. Let me see, like, you know, Pokemon Go. We already know we're gonna have something for Pokemon Go, you know, stuff like that. Let's just get to the nitty gritty. Let's get to the real stuff. You know, they're probably gonna spend hopefully no more than like 10 minutes on it and use the rest of the direct, because I think the direct's like 25 minutes tomorrow, so we'll see.
Yeah. It's funny, Noah just mentioned this earlier. He's like, it's probably going to be 90% filler and like 10% something good. But that's exactly the points that I was going to make, like Pokemon Cafe remakes, all that, you know, all that other stuff, TCG Pocket updates. I know that I know that there's people in the community that love TCG and everything like that. But for people that are diehard, just the video game fans, we kind of just want to skip to the video game stuff. So, that'd be
to
fun.
Point out with Pocket, I didn't mean to cut you up, but just with Pocket, like I don't think they can really release anything else. They just dropped a new set yesterday, so
like why?
It's like, come on, man.
That's true. But they are going to probably talk about the 30th anniversary merchandise for a while. They're going to talk about other celebrations that they're going to be doing for the 30th anniversary as well. I know they just dropped a new line of plushies that are like retro. They look like the Game Boy for the 30th anniversary, which is super cool. But that's only if you really want to go to like the Pokemon centers or order off their website and do stuff like that. And like, yeah, maybe for the 30th anniversary, you want to get yourself something nice. That's nice. But we're more focused on like the actual games, really. Hot take that's half a joke, says Noah. Give me the Pokemon Ranger gimmick of catching Pokemon for Gen 10. Forget Pokeballs. That would be kind of cool. Bliv may not be one, but I'll be one. Fake fan. Davragumi, thank you for the redemption. And I want Forge Forms. It's a sick concept. Forge Forms. You mean like when they like cure them, like when they forge together? I'm not really following.
Yeah, and like the thing too about freaking Pokemon that I just don't want to see, bro. I don't want like Masters EX, yo. The game had so much potential, but then like, yo, the moment that they said you can't battle online, that's how I felt. How like the people how they're mad about Fire Red and Leaf Green. That's how I feel about Pokemon Masters EX, where I'm just like, bro, I really don't care. Another thing too is like, yo, the TV shows, bro. You could just put commercials or just make another presents where you could just call it animation presents or something like that. Like, there's certain things that like, yo, that doesn't need to be shown. Like, what I was gonna ask you guys, or I'm just gonna say is like, yo, something that I do want to see is how they're gonna go about Pokemon XD and Coliseum, because in my opinion, those are my most anticipated games. The reason why I bought a freaking Switch 2 GameCube controller wasn't to play GameCube NSO because I could just do it on my controller. It was for those two games specifically, because those two games are like childhood my favorites or so like that. Like I love those games, even though like I remember playing it, but like I was a kid and stuff like that, so I want to like relive it and stuff. And like speaking about Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness and all that stuff, right? For the GameCube NSO, what do you guys think they're gonna do? Because we got surprised with Fire Red and Leaf Green. Do you think that we can get NSO GameCube compatibility with Pokemon Home? One thing that like I feel like is like I don't know if they can send it, because when you think about Pokemon XE Gale of Darkness and Coliseum, they don't have that many Pokemon. So like if you take, I mean, maybe XD Gale of Darkness, because you can always go to that like little place to always catch Pokemon. But like I don't know if Coliseum you could take those Pokemon and go. But another thing, and this is my final point, and then I could just leave it off to Sarge, and then Oblivia you can answer after, is I hope that they keep the shinies, like the shinies that's in that game that look unique. I hope that like Pokemon Company would just be like, all right, you have unique shinies that you could bring over and they look like this or so. Another thing too, before I leave it off to Sarge and so like that about Pokemon XD and Coliseum, I hope that like there's some way that we could just transfer between. If you can't transfer like the Pokemon like between like Fire Red or so like that, at least make it Gen 3 where it's like those games could connect to each other, and then like you could put it up to other games or so. Give us something like unique, if not so. Yeah. Sarge, what do you think about XE Gale of Darkness or Coliseum? What do you want to see, or what do you hope Nintendo doesn't do to screw over the fans?
Oh, I'll be honest. When you said Pokemon X, I thought you were gonna say Pokemon XP, because that was something we hadn't heard anything about, that new event that they're probably gonna do. But yeah, we haven't heard anything since they teased it in the list of games I scrolled over for NSO, right? So I'm hoping they give us some news. We've gotten a lot of GameCube games that came through, and unfortunately, neither one of them was on there. I'm ready because honestly, I never got to play them back in the day. Um, so this would be a big opportunity for me to go back and relive a piece of Pokemon history that I've heard a lot of good things about. So nice. I'm hoping that they do make it available tomorrow, this month, at least something. Give us an update as to when those games are coming. As far as anything that they could do to kind of upset the fans, I mean, show it and then just say it's going to be available later this year. I don't know. I don't know. My thing was with Fire Red and Leaf Green, right?
Yeah.
From what I understood was the reason they did a standalone version was for the home capability, because it needed its own standalone save file. Unlike, we're on NSO, we can it's pretty much like when we emulate it, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know if there is a way for them to make home compatibility work with anything on the NSO. If they did, it probably would have either been better to just put Fire Red and Leaf Green on there, or I thought they were probably going to do maybe Red and Blue on the NSO and just give us the fire. I don't know. It's kind of weird. It's just I don't even think we were supposed to know about Fire Red and Leaf Green, to be honest.
I'm still trying to ask that question. Like,
because from what I heard was that somebody posted it early on the shop and somebody got a screenshot of it. And then Pokemon was like, well, let's just put it out there. So I'm hoping they filled in that slot if they were going to use it for Pokemon Day with some good news and say, hey, by the way, Gale of Darkness and, Coliseum are going to be available. But again, it's a piece of history that I missed out on. So I'm really looking forward to those two games. And yeah, that's it. That's it for those two.
Oblivio, what are you looking forward to, and what do you hope Nintendo doesn't do for both of those ports?
So I'm looking forward to those games as well. Here's the thing though, and I am sorry to have to say this to everybody else uh who doesn't have the same fortune that I do. I kept those games from my childhood.
I got them too.
If there's something that I did hold on to growing up, it was my Pokemon games. Never ever did I ever let my Pokemon games go, and I have lost a butt ton of things throughout my entire lifehood. But in this box right here to my right is every single one of my Pokemon games, and Coliseum and the Gale of Darkness are in there. So I do have the privilege of being able to transfer Pokemon from those generations up to the present generation, experiencing those games on their own and all that other good stuff. So it doesn't directly affect me. However, if they did put it on the NSO and they did find a way, as Noah mentioned, to disable the save state just like they did for what they did on the 3DS, which was for gold, silver, crystal, red, and blue, and everything, that would be a double-edged sword. Like that would be fire because then you would be able to get compatibility to home. But then it would be a backhand. It would be kind of bullshit because they should have just done that with Fire Red and Leaf Green. Like they should have just done the same thing. Like we're already paying $80 a year for this for the online stuff for the NSO, and so it would just make sense to do it now as opposed to wait and do it later. But pretty much what Sarge was saying, I think if they do add it to the NSO, you can pretty much just assume that they're not gonna have home compatibility, and it will just be the experience. Which in Sarge's case, and in the case of many people like Sarge who didn't get to experience these GameCube games growing up, that's fantastic. Experiencing that to just stand alone is beautiful. It's a fantastic experience. It is so much fun. Like if I could go back and play, I specifically remember my memories of when I played this game for the first time, and I felt like a rock star because not only was I like, not only have I always been like the rock star Pokemon child in my family, but because I was like I wasn't the oldest, but because I was older than my younger siblings were along with the ride for me when I played through Coliseum and the Gale of Darkness. And I remember that final battle against Evice and like having Eevee and Espeon still on the team rocking hard, and they were just bodying. It was close, but we did it. And it felt great. So it is a good experience standalone. I think it's one of the best, if not some of the best Pokemon games ever.
Yeah.
But sad to say, if it is on the NSO, we probably won't get that compatibility that we're looking for, which is rough. Let me just catch up real quick here. Forge Forms is a concept where certain Pokemon basically turns into a monster hunter weapon, and the spirit of the Pokemon fuses with the trainer. I guess it's a cool concept, kind of, but they would have to go in an entirely different direction to make that happen. You know what I mean? And Believe Banana asks how long stream will be. Stream, you get to meet the boy Mirror. You literally get to meet me. That's me. I am Mirror B is me.
Yeah.
I love Mirror B. He's the best. But how much longer will stream go? I'm gonna give it. The conversation's good right now. I'll probably be on for a little while longer, but I do have work in the morning, so I got to be conscious of that. I'm probably gonna have to head off to bed soon.
Yeah, no worries. And like basically, just like you said, like Sarge, all I gotta say is when you have to, what is it, like 100 battles up the freaking
Battle
like when you
Mountain,
get to that, you
go. It's so big.
I'm like,
man,
so
I put 1,000 battles in Legends EA. I'm ready.
Yeah, like at that point, it's like, yo, bro, you about to do, because like the thing is that like the game is so different because like it has like physical and special. They're pretty much like Fire Red and Leaf Green. Yeah, I think pretty much they're like the same. So it's like
Yeah, there was no differentiation.
yeah,
It
so
was only
it's
it
like
was
that.
type
So you have to
dependent.
learn. It's a
Mhm.
different game than like Scarlet and Violet, and it's double battles, and like I feel like when it comes to Pokemon Coliseum, you're gonna be like, bro, why didn't Genius Sonority take over like 3D? Like they're still making games and they're like
Mhm.
making cafe mix. Like why? I'm guaranteed the people who made it left, but like because Battle Revolution is like the last game that they made. But think about it. If you go back, there's a lot of videos online where they're like Pokemon Battle Revolution looks way better than modern Pokemon.
Mhm.
But then after that, you can see that Game Freak, they can hire talent to make games that look like AAA games.
Mhm.
Do you feel like that's a slap to your face as like a fan, knowing that like Game Freak, they always make their own game or so like that, but like this game is different. This game looks like Monster Hunter had a baby with like Devil May Cry or some shit, right? Do you feel like as a fan, like yo, how come they just were never able to make a game look like this? Like, granted, it was the Switch era and it's not that strong, but how do you feel about that? I'll start off with Okay, wait, I don't know Sarge. Sarge, how do you feel about that? Like, basically, Pokemon Company, they made that game. I forgot what it's called, but it looked really good. And I'm probably gonna stream it.
Beast of Incarnate or something.
The B7, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, look, man. I'll say this, right? When it came to like Pokemon, or this is probably like a really crappy thing to say, but I never really held Nintendo to a high standard of like AAA title, Elden Ring kind of level games, right? So when it came down to like certain titles, Mario, Pokemon, right, stuff like that, Legend of Zelda, um, there was always like a constant theme with how their games looked. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. When I saw that Game Freak was working on something new, and then I saw that teaser for the first time, my jaw dropped, and I said, "Bro, like a buddy of mine, he plays Monster Hunter, right? He plays different Monster Hunters. He's like, this game is dope, and I've seen it, and I'm like, man, that would be kind of fire if they were just to go off the wall and kind of go that route. Then I
Mhm.
see Game Freak come out with this new trailer, and I'm like, bro, right? So it kind of begged the question. A lot of people ask that question: is the Pokemon Company really just holding Game Freak back, or is it the Pokemon Company saying we don't want to veer too far off, the path of what we know and what's comfortable for people? But I think it's important, and I think now with Champions coming out, they won't have to worry so much about both the mainline story and the competitiveness of each new Pokemon, that they'll be able to kind of just fully develop the world. And maybe, hopefully, one day, and maybe it's with Gen 10, I don't know. Maybe Gen 11, we get to see something, maybe not that detailed that Game Freak came up with, but maybe along the lines of a proper open world. But honestly, I felt some type of way, man, with Beast of Incarnation. I really did. I felt some
Yeah.
type of way about it.
What
I
about
have a
you?
couple things to say about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Give us Daddy Want to Murder the World People again. Yeah. So this is what I have to say, right? And I can see both sides of the argument, which is what's difficult about having this conversation, but I think it definitely needs to be had. So the Beast of Incarnation is a sign of a couple of things. And I actually want to pose this question to you guys, the viewers, and back to you guys as well. Um, I want to ask a simple question just to keep in mind while I go through this spiel. Do you guys think that we're just being old heads? Does it get to a certain point where we're just being old heads, where we're like holding on to the fantasy of Pokemon, but we have to realize that it's the 30th anniversary. A lot of its fans are over 30 or pushing 30, and it is, for all intents and purposes, a child's game, right? So is it that we're too stuck in the nostalgia to really move forward with what they're doing in the future and accepting new ideas? But along that same vein, if we're able to explore new ideas such as the Beast of Incarnation and piggybacking off of what Jason said with Genius Sorority should have really taken over the 3D games and really should have pushed those forward, is it that the Pokemon Company really is holding us back? Like, is it that because they're so desperate to hold on to this IP, they're just ruining it for everybody? Like, they won't explore different ideas because they can for sure certainly have their mainline child, oriented game, whatever, has a couple spin-offs that are like that too. But why can't they explore something with like Genius Sonority and Game Freak and make like an adult, maybe appeal to a more adult audience, right? I feel like they were headed in the right direction with the Gale of Darkness and Coliseum. It deals with much darker tones than any other Pokemon game. Your character is also much older than any other Pokemon hero or heroine. You're dealing with a lot of different aspects in those games that like really aren't for a child's game. And that's why we love them, because amongst all the Pokemon games, they're the grittiest. They're definitely the grittiest. They're really cool. You're a criminal in that game. One of those games, you're literally the main character is a criminal or an ex-criminal, however you want to look at it. But
vigilante.
Vigilante, yeah. And it's a really cool concept to explore. But I feel like they threw it out there and then they like reeled it back, and I don't know why, because it's literally one of the best received Pokemon games ever, like in the whole franchise. It was just the right time, the right amount of grittiness for everything. So I feel like if they could explore a different path with Pokemon, that would be great. But I also see the flip side, which is like maybe this is just going to continue to be a child's game and we kind of have to accept that fact.
Before I let Sarge answer that, let me just say this, right? I feel like if you look at the demographics of who or the age that plays Pokemon, it's people in their 30s. Like basically, like if you just look into it, it's like everybody that played Pokemon pretty much either grew up with the game or we're pretty much around the same age, right?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Pokemon Company is like WWE, where like it could have like they had the Attitude Era or so like that because they had slot machines and all that stuff. Yeah, we was playing slot machines, trying to get a
Absolutely.
Dratini or a shiny Abra or so like that. Like,
It's coming back. It's Fire Red.
Yeah, but the thing is that like,
So we're gonna get a new generation addicted to gambling.
but the thing is that I feel like Pokemon Company or Game Freak, I think that like they need to like think about that, because it's like, okay, like there is a generation, but let's make, and I feel like Legend ZA, even though like a lot of people have a lot of gripes with Legend ZA, they took one step forward because the story was a lot more mature when you think about it. Because, for example, the character was a little bit older than the main protagonist in every, except XD Gala Darkness, Coliseum. Another thing too was that like they covered death, which like they have covered in a couple Pokemon games, but it's like I don't
Not as
think we
blatant
ever
as
seen somebody die or so, and like
Yeah.
And a
I felt
funeral.
a little bit sad at the end of the game. I'm not gonna lie, for both L and the other character.
Nice.
I'm not gonna spoil it just in case nobody never played it.
Oh,
But
my God.
I feel like I feel like Game Freak, they don't want to do it no more. It's like when you think about it, it's like being in a relationship and you try to do everything for your girlfriend and she just never happy. And I feel like Game Freak kind of feels like that way with us. However, they feel constricted because when you think about it, there's budgets. How much does a
Yeah.
Monster Hunter cost? Right? How much do these big budgets? And let's just say, right? Pokemon, I come to Pokemon, I want to start a new generation or I want to start a new game, right? They're like, I'm going to give you this amount of money, but you have to pay people, you have to pay for the engine, you have to do all that, right? It's not enough. But let's just say if Pokemon Company gave Game Freak a gigantic budget, because think about it, right? The Beast Incarnate, I'm guaranteed Game Freak used all that Pokemon money residual that they got and made that game. But why don't we, or why don't the Pokemon Company just be like, you know what? like we'll still let you make Pokemon games, but let's let another big studio like Bandai Namco, because Sarge, you see Pokemon Snap. Pokemon Snap look really good. There's a lot of comparisons, right? But when it comes to like the Pokemon company and Game Freak, I feel like Game Freak, maybe it's time for like that relationship to just like grow differently. Maybe it's about that time that like, yo, there should be another company that's fresh, or like Silent Hill and Konami, like the new Silent Hill game that's coming out, or the other ones. There was two different companies making Silent Hill games. Like, I don't see why Pokemon Company doesn't do what Call of Duty does, right? Where there's like three different companies that's making a game, like the same game. There's Call of Duty, Warzone. I haven't played
the Black
Ops,
and then the Modern Warfares.
Yeah, so it's like I don't see why Nintendo and Pokemon Company just don't invest like they have with Pokemon Works and Ilka. But yo, bro, get Bandai, get like actual people who can put the work in. Sarge, I've been rambling. Like, yo, we'll let you take this over.
Let's leave Bandai over there on their own island.
Yeah, like
I dealt with
let
Bandai
you, because like
last
I'm
year,
gonna keep
and I was
going.
just like, oh gosh. But shout out to Bandai for putting me on their creator list, but I never took it. I was like, I don't know if I can do it, bro. But I think I was gonna say, I think to touch your point, they kind of tried that route, right? With Ilka, and then later it was Ilka that came out with BDSP.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Right, and then they patented the name Pokemon Works, and then it became its own thing. And then didn't they just combine Ilka and Works?
Or no, I think Ilka. I could have sworn Ilka is still just Ilka. But the thing too, okay, to answer that too, basically, the original person, you know the person who made like Gen 3 and Gen 4, Gen 5, the director.
Yeah.
Basically, I guess he took over and he didn't really do anything that much with the game. Like he kept it 1-to-1. I think that's the story. Is like he was directing it and like he just made it 1-to-1.
So I kind of wanted to touch based on what you were saying, right? Like trying new things, and I think that's what the Legends series is, because I felt like when Legends Arceus came out, it was kind of like, whoa, like it kind of felt, and it's kind of weird to say, right? Because they're all kids games in the end of the day, but it felt like Legends Arceus was kind of tailored more to us, of the older audience.
Absolutely.
And then because you had the fierceness of wild Pokemon, and and it was just like, it was crazy. The new battle mechanics, not battle mechanics, the new movement, just the way you interacted with that game, it was great. Then Legends ZA came out, and it's like, okay, now we have another Legends title. It's not in the past, but let's see what they're doing. What did they do? Bring a whole new battle mechanic. So I'm not opposed to Pokemon using the Legends titles as a way to kind of experiment and try new things, because you never know. We could potentially get another Legends title that looks maybe a little bit more, not exactly like the Beast of Incarnate, right? But maybe more that style, that route eventually down the line. I don't see it being the next title.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll be the next Legends titles, maybe 2 or 3 Legends from now. But if they do go that route, I think Legends is the perfect place to kind of experiment and try new things and see how the fans interact with it and engage with it. But I'm not opposed to them getting another company either. Maybe they come up with another sub Pokemon genre where they can kind of, go crazy and test some things out that are more tailored to the 30-year-old audience, right?
Yeah.
I'm not opposed to it, but I feel like, as long as they try to explore and try new things with Legends, I'm down for it.
Yeah, because like I feel like, when they cut teams to like have like certain teams be able to make a game or so like that, it hasn't worked. Or so. Like I feel like, for example, like Xenoblade Chronicles, how they have like a whole gigantic group of people to make the game. And there's always, I hate Xenoblade Chronicles too. Like I think that game was probably one of the worst Xenoblade Chronicles games. But when it comes to like Pokemon, I feel like, bro, like they should just have one big team, stop splitting people, stop cutting people, let everybody make the game so that like it works the first time and not wait, 5 years for another console to come out. But before I segue to my next one, let me just like say two things, like read two chats real quickly. I think it's pretty obvious as why they ain't gonna do that, cause money, and they don't want to pay more people, and on licensing issues. I feel
True.
But the thing is that like I remember watching a video, bro. I don't know if you guys ever seen it, but it's like how much they went through. I think Glassdoor. I don't know if you guys know what Glassdoor is, where it's like it says like how much a company pays people or so like that. But if you ever come across that video, it's on YouTube or so like that, where it's like how much do Pokemon like it's like a review, like how well received working there is. And basically that video will tell you a lot or so. Another thing too is like I just want to save Japanese work culture is not good. I think it says I just want to say Japanese work culture is not that good. Sometimes you have to hire someone to quit your job. I feel like Pokemon Company might be paying people like 100K or so like that because they somebody getting paid good over there. I'm not gonna cap because but going back to like what we were talking about and stuff, I think that like making a more like adult game, because it's like Pokemon, they probably have seen their demographics. Like, yeah, there's kids that play the game, but everybody 30, bro. Like, bro, you gotta do something, man. Everybody old and stuff. And speaking about that, we have Pokemon games that's already on the Switch One. Do you think on Pokemon Day that they are going to announce Switch 2 ports of Gen 8, BDSP, Legends, Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee? Do you think we'll see that on Pokemon Day tomorrow?
I don't think so.
Scarlet and Violet, they received it, and the game runs pretty well. However, if you play Pokemon Sword and Shield or Pokemon Legends Arceus, they don't feel right on the Switch 2. Do you think we will see it, Sarge?
I think we might see it down the line, but I don't think we'll see it for Pokemon Day, because one of the things that I had predicted too was like maybe Pokemon Unite getting a Switch 2 update, right? So it can run better, because we all know if anybody plays Unite, we know how bad it ran on the Switch 1. But even now on the Switch 2, it's a little bit more better. I'm not going to say it's perfect, but yeah, I think it would be something that needs an actual Switch 2 update. But I can see them doing it. I just don't see them doing it for like Pokemon Day. But it's kind of hard to say. Maybe if any of them, maybe Legends Arceus.
Legends Arceus, you think?
Yeah.
Like, I
would hope that. I love Legends Arceus.
Oh,
Of
yeah.
all the Switch games, I feel like that's my favorite of the Pokemon Switch games.
It's the best.
Yeah, 100%.
Story, gameplay, everything. It's nice. But I'm with Sarge on the fact that I doubt they'll do it tomorrow. I don't think that they would. If they did it at some point in the future, maybe. Even then, that's a big maybe. But I don't think that they do it tomorrow.
If they don't do it tomorrow, they're not doing it. Like, that's how I feel about it. Like, if they don't announce something like that tomorrow, we're not getting it at all. We're just gonna be depressed. I don't know if you guys.
I hope, just like what Sarge said, I wish they would fix Unite, because I actually genuinely enjoyed Unite, but playing that game feels so rough whenever you try to play it on the Switch, and it's like if they would just patch that up a little bit, I feel like the game would be so much more enjoyable.
Do you think that it will do better than what's the game that everybody plays, all the baddies and stuff like that is based off the same genre? What you guys know what I'm talking about, right? All the girls be wearing the hat. It's the green hat thing. Like,
You're
it's
talking
like a
about
shell.
I can't think of the name right now.
What's it called? it's like not Clash of but I was thinking like
League of Legends.
League of Legends, yes. Do you think it's gonna be League of Legends level if they fix it? They already have a lot of characters. Because you guys both play
League of Legends level because that's the original formula for it, and this is just like Pokemon slapped on like a League of Legends kind of formula. So I doubt to that level, but would it maybe spark a little bit more life into the game? Maybe. I can see that.
Yeah, and it's just like what Dragon Ball did too, right? They came out with their own Genki Squadron, right? It's the same concept, just with Dragon Ball characters, and that's doing pretty well too. But I don't see it going to League of Legends, status, because that's the one, the king of the throne, right? But I think Pokemon Unite, if it did get a patch, would be definitely a lot more enjoyable because I truly like playing Unite. Yeah. But kind of like Oblivio said, it's just man, I want to go through and collect all my stuff, but just having to go through the menu and wait 10 seconds for it to switch what it's doing is so rough. It's rough, man.
Did you see the other version of Pokemon Unite? I think it's a Chinese version, and how they have so many more features. Do you think if we do get a Switch 2 port that we might see that implemented into our Pokemon Unite?
All I can have is my fingers crossed, my friend. I don't know. There's some things there's things that China or Japan, kept to themselves that never really got imported to us, right? So
a lot of mystery events.
I'm hoping that that doesn't happen, but it would be cool. I would like to see it.
Yeah, because when I saw that, I was like, damn, like why their version like, and that's like what I kind of hope that Pokemon Champions does, where it's like, yo, give us a place where we could walk around, a little hub. Because if we have a nice little hub that we could walk around and we can like be able to like see people, I feel like people be more into like buying the swag and stuff like that.
Absolutely, yeah.
Like it'd be one way to monetize. I feel like maybe gotcha characters and stuff like that, like maybe they could do something like that too. But when it comes to like, Gen 10, let's get into that. Let's talk about that. Sarge, actually, I said I think I asked Sarge first last time, right? Oblivio, what do you what fire, water, and grass? What do you think we're gonna get in terms of animals? Sarge, after your next.
So I'm gonna just break down how this thing goes for.
Or what do you want to see?
For me, when it comes to new generations, I don't like to spoil the new generations for myself as much as I can. I stay away from the leaks. I stay away from the internet as much as I can. I know there's a point where it's just in my face at that point. Like I can't even do anything. Like sometimes I'll just try to open up Instagram to get rid of a notification and then boom, it's there. And you're like, all right, well, fuck. But I remembered seeing somebody post something about a leak, and then I immediately scrolled away because I wasn't even going to try to ruin it for me.
It was fake, however, probably.
If I wanted to see something for the starters for Gen 10, I would say, following suit here for the fire starters, we haven't seen an ox yet. So it'd be cool to see like an ox type fire starter, something like a little bull or something, and then it grows into like a bigger bull. I think they could really get a good concept from that, especially with it being a fire type. Water types, we haven't seen. I feel like we haven't seen something serpentine for water types in a while. You know what I mean? Like it'd be nice. I don't care which type it is. I want a capybara. Capybaras would be cool.
Yes.
That would be if we get the regional normal type. As long as it's a capybara, I'd be happy with that too. I love.
I would jump into my camera if I saw that.
I would just be like, if it's like Beedle by Barrel, I'm cool with it being a capybara. I'm fine. But grass type, which, funnily enough, I've only picked fire types twice. Once with Charmander, once with Skeledirge, with Fuecoco. Other than that, I'm always grass water. But with the grass type,
guys?
I feel like we haven't seen
everybody. We just podcasted.
Let's see, they've done a lot of shit for grass types actually. So I mean, shit, maybe a capybara grass type would be fire. Who knows?
Grass and rock.
But let me just send that back to y'all. What do you guys want to see for the starters?
For me, Sergeant X. Sergeant X.
I don't know if I have a preference, man, because I want it to be a surprise, you know? I've seen things that are like, oh well, it's based in this region, and you know, these are the animals that are mostly based in that region. I'm like, well, there's a lot of things that can be based on, right? We got underwater life, we got life that's just, you know, you could, if you wanted to, you could do, you know, like a little baby rhino, right? You could do you know, some form of bird. You could do the Komodo drag. I mean, there's so many different things you could do, right? The capybara is actually kind of a fire idea. I like that
like,
idea.
bro, I hope we get that,
But
bro.
something kind of like, you know, I mean, I don't know, a bat. So I don't even know what I would want. I don't think it's more so of like what I want to see as far as a Pokemon starter. I just kind of want to know. I don't know, man. I really don't have any hopes for the not hopes for the starters, but like I don't have like an expectation of what I want to see. I just kind of want to see them and be like, dang, that's our next generation of starters, you know?
Yep.
Because I'm just so used to what we have now, and you know, we've gotten, you know, the I mean, I'm thinking about all the starters. I'm like, how many more animals can we make in the starters that they're gonna have? You know,
Bro,
two
there's so
evolutions
many
after.
animals. Like they could
Yeah,
even go back
there
to
is, right?
ancient
But it's like,
times. Extinct animals at this point. There's so many. I mean, like, at least for me, I want to see like I don't care what animal, because usually like the starters, you know, they're usually hit or miss. I just hope the typings are very unique. Like I want to see like a water electric starter, like a fire ground, you know, something that like that's different. Basically for me, I hope for Gen 10 to like Gen 20 or so like that, or Gen 19, they switch up the formula. Like I want to see like a ghost type starter, a psychic type starter, a bug type starter. You know what I mean? Like I want to see yeah, like I
yeah, that
want
would
for
be
like
good.
like for these next 10 generations for us to have like three different types or so like that, like where there it could be electric type, ground or so like that, or at least maybe for like every other game we get like a different starter, like because yes, I do like starting with fire, grass and water, but I feel like it's, you know, with it being 10, we need something new. Like, bro, it's been 30 years and stuff, like even though it's work, let's make it work a little bit different. Like, you know, with Legends games, they do give us like the same ones with different forms, but like let's up it up the notch.
Yep.
In my opinion.
Imagine we get a psychic fairy and dark Pokemon starter says card bait.
Yeah. Like that would be crazy.
That'd be dope. That would be hella dope.
That'd be fire. Some people in my chat, they said that they want a serpent, a turtle, a crab. You know, they want a lot.
Dragon.
A giraffe, a cow, and an elephant. You see, like you see, Sarge. Like there's so
Yeah,
many
I got a
animals.
few too. I got the capybara being a water type. I got a fire squirrel, a water cat, a grass gator,
Bro,
a
you know how
water
much money
lion,
they
a
make with a
fire bear.
capybara? Like Sarge, do you understand how much money they could make with a capybara starter?
Oh yeah, that's why I said the capybara would be insane.
Bro, or a hippo starter. Yo, if they had a hippo starter, like Mudang, bro,
Yeah.
we have a Mudang starter because like wasn't that?
So
I feel like we might see like a hippo, another hippo in this generation.
absolutely. Two things I really wish we could see though, because we have a but, and this is two things that they've done in the past before. So I'm hoping that they branch off a little bit, because this is definitely within like the Pokemon formula. Like they would do something like this. So I'm hoping they see it. I want to see a variation of the pseudo starters. So, like in Gen 5, they had the Elemental Monkey Trio. Love those guys to
I
death.
love those.
So, Pansage, Panseer, Panpour, Simsage, Simseer, Simipour. They're perfect. I love those three. Maybe they can do something different in this region where it's like another trio of like false starters, but it's the same thing. It's like maybe not monkeys, maybe it's like a trio of, I don't know, bats or something,
I never
something
thought.
cool. And it would be nice to finally see a gorilla Pokemon, right? Like, I don't know, maybe it'd be nice because we have an orangutan Pokemon. We have a good bunch of monkey Pokemon, but I don't really remember
Zarude.
seeing a gorilla Pokemon per se.
Yeah. Like,
That'd be nice.
yeah, man, I would definitely be nice, man. Like for real, for real. Like Sarge, how do you feel about like trading cards and stuff like that? Like, do you support like the TCG community, or do you like collect cards and stuff like that? Like, how do you feel about, Pokemon Company and like how people can, they can pretty much make a living off of this?
They can, dude. That's why I'm at Costco at 6 a.m. punching little kids in the face. With cards,
Don't say that on YouTube. You gonna get canceled.
no, honestly, man,
In Minecraft.
I think with the TCG in Minecraft, yeah, exactly.
In Minecraft.
No, I think with the TCG, it holds a special place for me, right? Because man, I remember being a kid and having all those cards in my binder, trading with my friends, this and this. So I'm always down to like collect, and I have a personal collection that I just started collecting in like maybe last year or the year before, but nothing crazy because it's so expensive now, and the whole scalper um market, if you will, it's
Yeah.
just like it is insane, man. I bought the 30th anniversary pack that has 3 packs of cards, 30th anniversary promotional
Damn.
Pikachu, and a coin. I bought 2 of them at Target online. They were $17. Flip it to today, $50. Dude,
That's not bad.
what is going, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and
That's
it's so
crazy.
hard because you get into these queues at the Pokemon Center and you're like waiting in there for like, I'm like, dude, I can't do this. Like I can't wait 4 hours in line on a website just to hopefully get something, check out, and then there's an error and now I'm kicked to the back of the line. Like it's horrible right now, man. But
Rough.
I love the TCG. I love collecting it. I haven't played it personally. I would like to learn how to play it, but I got a love-hate relationship right now with the current state of TCG.
Yeah, and like a lot of people say they got back. Like Gyarados said, I got back into playing TCG last year. It's been a lot of fun, and like TCG could be for everybody. And like Oblivio, you just showed us a really nice card and stuff like that with my favorite Pokemon named Dashkabun and stuff like that. That card is
So this is a gift from Cardbait, who's actually in the chat right now. That's why I was showing it off. She says that she is a TCG collector, but she doesn't like the community right now. Pretty much what Sarge was explaining. That's why she's kind of disillusioned with the community. And everybody's just kind of going back and forth. Blid, you know how much I got for my cards? How much did you get? Remember in your Discord, you graded cards you got from PSA. You guys, yeah, she got some really nice graded PSA cards. She said she got big money. And not to put anybody's business out there, but somebody just bought a brand new home. So I'm going to say there was some really big money that came from these cards. Congratulations, though, Cardbait. We love you. That's fantastic.
Pokemon cards do that? Damn.
but but Cardbait gave this Dashbun to me as a gift, amongst a slew of other things. So yeah, they are fun for me. They're just fun to collect.
Yeah,
They're just fun to collect is all, and then for me, that's all that is really. I'm not big into like sitting here and stockpiling and flipping and doing all that. The ones that I think look cool, I'm just like I'm gonna hold on to this one. It looks pretty dang cool.
I feel like
So
it's
I have a
very
question.
nerve-wracking because like just imagine like you see how like Sarge he has like that player box set and stuff like that. Like what if like he opens that one day, he's like, bro, I'm finna sell these, and like he just gets all of the worst cards. Like that's like my biggest fear is like, bro, I just bought this and like I bought the worst one. Or like, yo, you
Right.
deal with a Logan Paul situation where it's like, yo, you put a little bit
I
of
wanted
money
to
in
ask
that,
you
and
about
then
that.
he just takes it right under your skin or so. Cause like there's like so many different aspects of like the card community where it's like, bro, you could make a lot of money, but it's like you gonna have to fight a grown man at a freaking kiosk because he's taking too long. Like there's no need for that when I could just play the games and I ain't gotta worry about that. But what makes no sense to me is that like the games have no value. The cards though, it got money tied to it. Like, bro,
It's
why
money,
can't
bro.
like the Pokemon I catch have value? I'm guaranteed if I caught Pokemon from Exegil Darkness and I try to sell it, it's like, oh, these Pokemon have unique marks that you're not gonna get. But who knows if it has home compatibility? You know what I mean? And then after that, like,
I wouldn't say all that. I wouldn't say all that because that's the whole reason that, well, for start, flipping Pokemon games is rough. That's why, like we're talking about getting Fire Red Leaf Green for $20 on the Switch today versus trying to get
yeah,
your own copy right now. You're gonna pay $200. That's an insane markup because when the game first dropped, it was what, $30 at retail or something like
yeah,
that. That's crazy. That is an insane markup. But not only that, but the shiny hunting community and the shiny hunting, I call it pretty much like a pandemic because it's pretty janky. Where that's
yeah.
where I have my whole grip with the bots and everything because people will genuinely try to sit here and sell those things and they'll sell the ones that the bots make and everything, and it's gross. Like, why would you do that to a
I
kid
wanna
Yeah.
ask you guys about that. How
who
do you
just
feel?
wants to have this experience?
Yeah, yeah. How do y'all feel about like because I thought about doing I wanted to do a video, right? Because I was scrolling on TikTok a while back and I'm seeing people going on TikTok live, put their phones facing the TV and they got like boxes of shiny Pokemon. They're like, all right, man, make sure y'all follow, make sure all this and this and get a shiny. Like they're out here like bargaining to give shiny Pokemon away to people. And I'm like,
Yep.
I don't know that just, and I guess that's to your point, but that kind of like bothered me. You know what I'm saying? Like this
Or
this
like if
isn't
you got to join the
entertainment. This is how you
Discord.
get your following. Like this is trash. Like
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and the thing too is that like you know how like you go on YouTube and it's in the reels where it's like like you're like, oh, I want to shiny up this Pokemon, and then they're giving people legendaries from like or mystery gifts from like years ago, and I'm like, bro, those are fake mon. Like there's nothing that you could tell me or so like that unless like you got it from the game and you could verify it or so like that. Like for example, like there's something to where you can get a shiny Ditto in Pokemon Yellow, and you could bring it into Pokemon you know, Gold, Silver, Crystal. You know what I mean? Like something that like you can like verifiably like because there are like certain glitches or so like that could work, but like you're talking about mystery gifts that came out years ago. How are you getting that? First and foremost, that's the
Mhm.
first question. And secondly, I do see there's a problem with it because it's like, you know, you missed out on it. Or like, there's a lot of kids where it's like, yo, you're gonna tell like these kids are gonna want to go into the Discord, and now it's like, yo, it's like cheating in a way. Like it's just
Mhm.
not right.
I mean, how many times have you got into a Pokemon match and then they send out a freaking
Yo,
a
all the time when
legendary
I
that has a
was
website as a name? You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like,
like
come
when I
on.
was
Yep.
doing like viewer battles on stream and stuff like that, yo, all I see is this website name or so. Like bots are ridiculous, and like I don't know if there's something that it could be stopped. But when it comes to like these bots and stuff like that, like and how these streamers are just like literally being like, oh, yo, all you got to do is go into my Discord, or you just have to put in this code 444000. But if you
I can think of a couple
pay
creators.
for the Discord, you get the higher tier one where you automatically get one. Like, nah, bro.
We're all
Like
thinking about the
it's
same
It's
thing.
fake,
gross.
man. It's
It's gross,
fake.
and that's pretty much what I'm talking about is that. And it's
Yeah.
so blatant that it gets to the point where there are Instagram, I think I've seen them on Facebook, but like for sure Instagram ads where they will literally, these websites will be like, if you just pay like $5.99 or some bullshit like that, they give you like a whole box or like boxes full of legendaries, and that's just, it's gross. It's like, what do you mean you're just selling shit? You're just taking like little Timmy's mom's credit card and like having him run it for these box full of legendaries that are all fake, and one, it defeats the purpose of the shiny, and two, it defeats the like, it's just gross. I feel like it's gross because it targets children in a way. First of all, you're targeting children, which is, that's gross in and of itself. But it targets children in a way where like it makes them vulnerable to like all these kinds of, like, you don't know who's selling this shit or what unfortunate thing could be happening behind the scenes with that. And that's just, I don't like it. It's all around. I'm like, just don't do all that. Shiny hunt your own shinies. I promise you, it's way more rewarding.
Yeah, it is. I just want
Did
to
you
say
laugh at the
something,
same
yo,
comment
boat
that I saw?
boy. Yo, welcome in, boat boy. Hopefully you're having a great day. He asked me, why is my turtle naked? And then I looked at the turtle and I realized, yo, this Squirtle is really naked on the screen. It's like I have a turtle with no shell.
Oh,
That's not funny.
Yo, this turtle has no shell.
I just saw that. That is crazy.
He said, yo, the first comment, he's like, why is Squirtle naked? I don't know. I just saw, I just saw, oh, Squirtle, let me go and just add this. Like, I was like, oh, let me go show a naked Squirtle. Like, nah, we do not do the whole freaking Vaporeon stuff over here.
Yeah, but just to kind of like tack on to what what we were talking about, it's like I remember going and searching up because I was trying to look for some like emote work the other day, right? And I was just kind of like just trying to get ideas and see who had some stuff done. And I was looking at Legends ZA stuff,
Mhm.
and there it is on eBay for like $1, $2, $3. You can buy Pokemon that they'll sell you on eBay. I'm like, what are we doing here?
That's crazy.
I'm like, I don't know, man. But what I wanted to ask you guys back on the TCG is like, how do you feel when people like Logan Paul did what they did with these box openings and stuff like that? Like, do you feel like it hurts the market in a way because prices are being shown and they're like, yo, no, we can make this much money now. More people are gonna want to go in and scalp this, or like, what are y'all's thoughts on that?
I do think it is a pretty big stain to the TCG community because, like, it is fun to collect and to trade and all that other good stuff. And I'm sure that there's a market that becomes available for that because of the rarity, right? Like,
Right.
a lot of the stamped, or not the stamped, but the marked Gen 1 cards. Like, I get that those can be crazy, but like millions, or like just making it making it so that it's a non-enjoyable factor of the community, because now people are scalping and absolutely destroying an opportunity for somebody who may have just wanted, for the shits and giggles, to just get a card, right? And now they will never be able to obtain that card because in their local in their local Targets, Walmarts, whatever retailers, they're all dried up because the scalpers went at 5 a.m. and absolutely destroyed every box that
Yeah.
was there. And
Yeah.
now
Mm-hmm.
some kid that just decided, or some parent that was like, my kid wants this card, you're never going to find it. You're not going to find it. And if you do find it, you're paying a pretty penny for it because scalpers. So I think that is definitely a huge issue.
Yo, and that's the thing too. Like, I remember driving to work and then I would pass a whole like GameStop, and like every like, I don't know if they add new sets like once a month or once every other week or so, but I would always see like these people sitting down in their chairs right in front of GameStop, which I don't know how GameStop is closing down when, like, yo, they are getting scalper business, but like, the CEO is an idiot. But like, there's people who literally like sit down and wait. Like, mind you, it's cold. It's like December, or it's like 5 a.m. in the morning where it's like 30 degrees outside. And I'm like, how are you here? Just like sitting here for these cards. And it's like, Pokemon, like, it really does change lives in a way when it comes to like these cards, because like, if you get a certain value, like, my whole question is like, how do you know which card is popular when like a new
Mhm.
set comes out? Like, where it's like, okay, this card, like, I like it. This is gonna be $1,000. For real. But like the
And
thing
then you got
is,
to deal with like the whole grading situation because now I'm hearing like you send cards off to PSA and some of them are coming back like with damage on it, and it's like,
Oh,
and then
that
the cost to get the cards graded is already expensive enough. You know, it's like I don't know, man.
yeah. And the thing too, first and foremost, I'd be scared to even send a card to like any PSA because I'm like, yo, these people gonna steal my card. What if I got like $1 million card and the PSA,
right,
they
right.
just add like a fake thingy is a paper or so like that, and then I try to sell it. They're like, yo, this is fake. I don't know how anybody could trust that, bro. But like, just sue GameStop, I guess. But when it comes to like when it comes to like Pokemon and like I know that like the Terra leaks and all that stuff, but like how do you guys feel about like the next steps for Pokemon? Like for example, like Gen 10, it looks really good or so, but it's gonna be it looks like the IGN meme where it's like too much water. I really feel like Gen 10 is gonna be too much water.
I mean, I'm
There's gonna
sure
be too
that
many
they can
water types.
circumvent. They can get around it somehow, right? I mean, like Alola, they did Alola pretty well because Alola was pretty much mostly water. But what they did is that they didn't focus the landscape on Alola's water, but they focused it on each individual island. So each individual island was kind of its own thing, had its own cities, its own story, its own places and stuff like that. So if they split it up in a way to where they can do that, it'll be great. But if it's trying to follow like this open world mechanic that they've been trying to push with Pokemon moving forward, we might run into an issue with too much water. They would just have to make the map pretty expansive. So like I say expansive in the fact that like you get to an island after crossing some water, that island's gonna have to be pretty in depth, have a couple of cities, couple of things to do, and so that you pretty much forget about the water at given points of the game. And then when you're faced with the water again, you're like, oh, okay, well, I got to traverse the water. But if they can do that formula right, they should be all right.
Yeah, I feel like I feel like if they do something like with Wind Waker, because at a certain point,
Mhm.
like traversing through, I don't know if you guys play Wind Waker, but like
Oh yeah,
Oh,
traversing through Wind
okay.
Waker
It's
is
peak.
pretty fun. Or like Phantom Hourglass. Like I feel like Phantom Hourglass was like that was like my first Zelda, but like Phantom Hourglass, that was fun to like navigate around when you have like your own thing. Especially like if your Pokemon is riding and then like you could just have your Pokemon attack like a ship and stuff.
Mhm.
But another thing too is I don't know. I think we talked about it earlier, but Pokemon Pocopia is you could pretty much have it preloaded on your Switch now. I don't know if you guys pre-ordered Pokemon Pocopia, but if you pre-order it right now, you could preload it. And Sarge and Oblivio,
Mhm.
how do you feel about Pocopia? Because at first everybody was like, "Yo, this game is ugly." And stuff like that. We don't care about this game. But it took a couple PokeTubers and some other people to be like, oh, this game is really fire, actually. And now everybody changed their tune. How do you feel about that, Sarge? Do you feel like people are wishy-washy, or do you think that Pocopia might be the Pokemon game that like makes the Pokemon company hire more different studios to make different games?
saw a thing that came out that said Pokemon Pocopia was projected to be the highest selling Pokemon side game, right, or spin-off, if you will. Um, if it lives up to the potential and by word of mouth, it becomes something like that. I could see that happening. Just because if, but here's okay, Minecraft. We know Minecraft is
Yeah.
huge. It's
Animal
huge.
Crossing too. Highest seller.
Animal Crossing has always been a big game, but I feel like it became a even bigger game because of the time that it released, right? Which was during the
Pandemic, yeah.
pandemic where everybody was at home and had nothing to do, and they were like, "Oh, hey, play this game, blah blah blah." And I think people still have that urge to play something like Animal Crossing, or people have that, you know, uh, building itch from like Minecraft, right?
Mhm.
So I think if Pokopia is done right, and I did, the other day I did a short stream of my and me and my chat went and watched a little bit of the Treehouse, and we skimmed through it, and
Yeah.
it's interesting some of the stuff that they're going to do. I think based off of how big the actual map will be, like how big you can actually explore and make this world, is going to be a deciding factor. But I do feel like the overall opinion is kind of a 50-50 because people don't know what to make of it. They maybe they have hopes for it
Yeah.
and are scared that it might not do well. And I feel like there's nothing wrong with it, but I feel like there's part of the Pokemon community that just says, "Hey, it's not my cup of tea," you know. But I think there is a big category for the cozy
Yeah.
building type simulation game, right? A life sim game. And if Pokemon does it right for their first time doing it, I think it could be a pretty big success. My opinion of Pokopia is the same when I first saw it. It's going to be a hit. I think it's going to be great to do, and I'm excited for it. And I already have it loaded, so I'm
Yeah.
I'm
And,
ready.
and before we get to you, Oblivion, I just want to say like you brought up a really great point because it's like when you look at games like Animal Crossing New Horizon, Stardew Valley, and all that stuff, because it brings more people into the Pokemon sphere. Because like cozy games, like what like the demographic of like people that play cozy games, the amount of like hours of gameplay that you get and the creativity that you get is really good. And I really feel like Pokemon Pokopia is really gonna like broaden or so like that. I think this game is gonna sell really high because, bro, think about it, right? It's gonna bring more ladies to the Pokemon community. Yes, sir. Yes,
That's
sir.
all the chasing is about.
That's what's gonna happen and stuff too. So like, because
That's
like
funny.
it's so
Like,
creative.
bro, you
And
want to check
another
out
thing
this
too,
hidden den I built? Like, what's going?
yeah, like it's gonna be a fun game too. Like it's gonna be a fun game too because it's like it's a chill vibe. And like even though like I'm still getting used to Ditto or so like that, but I'm kind of
Yeah,
happy he was picked. But just looking through the game, like it's something that you could give your like like your niece or nephew, and like they could have fun playing it. Like like it's like one of those games where it's like it's for everybody, which I can really appreciate. But Oblivio, I'll leave it up to you for you to go next. Sorry, taking your spot.
No, no, you're good. I appreciate that. You guys pretty much covered all the bases there. I do think that it is going to be designed for a specific kind of gamer, which is pretty cool. A lot of people that do play a lot of the cozy gaming. I really wasn't into the big cozy gaming now for a while, but then when I started to like play games with my sisters and stuff, where I started to do Minecraft, where I started to play Sims, where I started to play Animal Crossing, where I started to play Stardew Valley and stuff. I started to see the appeal. I'm like, nah, nah, like this is fun. Like
Yeah,
it's chill. You just sit back and relax with this. Sometimes when you're not doing a whole lot, you just grind a little bit on your Animal Crossing island, and that's how I played my Animal Crossing experience first. Was just little by little. Whenever I had a little bit of downtime, I would just grind a little bit of this, a little bit of that,
hmm
organize this, do this off job, and it was a lot of fun for me because now when you look back on the island, you're like, oh damn, like I did all of this bit by bit, but I got here at my own pace, and that was fun. That was its own unique experience. And I feel like, just like Sarge said, if Pocopia does it right, they introduce the right elements, they make the replayability of it, which that's a big factor because a lot of those cozy gaming games, something that they get down really good. You can start up a Minecraft world at any given time, and it always goes in a completely different direction. It's never the same game twice. Animal Crossing, to an extent, does the same thing. Stardew Valley, I know for a fact, does the same thing where the replayability, you have different endings, different characters, different interactions. Um, so, like, with cozy gaming, they got that formula down, which is no two playthroughs are exactly the same. So if Pocopia is able to do that, they're gonna be fine. And it's a game that I look forward to playing myself. And now I don't have it preloaded like Sarge, but
I
we'll
got it preloaded
definitely go
too.
ahead. I'm not as cool as y'all, but I'll definitely pick it up along the way, and we'll get to it. I'll be honest with you, I have been slacking, y'all, in as far as gaming goes and streaming. I'm sorry, guys,
It'd be like
but
that.
I do hope that this is a good like welcome back to my streaming era because I have been itching to do content creation. It's just been a little hard with the transition I've been doing into my life,
Yeah.
but it's a good transition, and I'm happy and things are moving the way that they should. So we'll
Hey
get back
man.
to it, y'all.
Like, bro, when you get back to it, you're gonna be happy, positive place. Your community's gonna show love and stuff like that,
Absolutely.
bro. And here's another question, right?
When's Fire Red
Do
going to
you
be available?
You're like yo Joshua, bro. Like I don't know. Like I know that like right, Joshua that's pretty much how he is. Where he's like, I think it's just like understanding and stuff like that. Like I said, like yo, if you just ignore it, like it's my whole thing is like yo, all right, somebody get banned if they just get disrespectful. But he's just asking the question over and over again. Like you just leave him to it. Like we answered the question, all he has to do is scroll up, and we answered it live. But Joshua, yes, you could play Fire Red and Leaf Green, Fire Red and Leaf Green, 9 a.m. If you want, I can put the link to the Pokemon Day in the Discord. So Joshua, if you're like, yo, where can I find it? Whenever it is, just type in the Discord. This is Joshua, and I will either send you a DM or I will post it in general chat. But like, here's the question I want to ask you guys though. Do you guys think we will be able to shiny hunt in Pokopia? I swear to God, there's nobody talking about that. Like I've never seen a video of like asking, even making a prediction of yo, can you shiny hunt in Pokopia? Like, can you like re-roll your villagers?
See, that's actually a good question because I
That would
read
be fun.
something today that kind of like hit me hard that it might not be possible. But I mean, I think like in a way it might still be possible because from what I read was like you only encounter one of the type, right? So like if a Charmander rolls into your village, then it's like that's the only Charmander you're gonna roll into, right? But nothing says that that one Charmander can't pop in and be shiny, right? Or that Hitmonlee can't be shiny, or whatever the case is. But I don't know if there's gonna be ways to re-roll it. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah.
But I would like to see shiny Pokemon in there. You know, they don't got to be all shiny, but maybe you have one that pops in. And it's like, whoa, hold on, right?
That would be a fun Pokemon aspect to bring to a cozy gaming kind of
Yeah,
That'd be
sphere. Is like
different.
I want an all shiny villager
Yeah.
or all shiny. You know what I mean? Like
be
that
a
would
heck
be
of a
fire.
video to drop.
Like they do have that, like in Animal Crossing. Like they do have
All
that.
the
Like
rare ones, yeah.
the dude with the glasses, that's the cat. Like, or the Cleopatra that everybody's kind of disgusting with, like Vaporeon. But other than that too, man, like I think that like if we get shiny hunting in this game, that would be actually pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. Another question to ask you guys is the in-game exclusive Pokemon, like Moslax, Pikachu,
Mm.
Smeargle, and stuff. Like, do you think that we are going to get those Pokemon in, like you could transfer those Pokemon via Pokopia to like the current Pokemon game, which would probably be like Gen 10? Or do you think that like sometime in Gen 10 they will be sent to us as a via mystery gift? Like, how do you or will they just only be for that game? Like spiky eared Pichu. Like
I
they,
feel like that's
Mm.
what I felt like. They'd probably be more so like that. It would be cool if they did some kind of a cameo for them in Gen 10, or if they did include them, that'd be kind of cool. But they would have to, because it's a mainline Pokemon game, they would have to include whatever specific geez, Banana Boners, thank you so much for the donor for the bits. I really appreciate that. I do love Noah. Don't say that I don't. That's crazy.
we love
I'm just in the middle
Chimchar.
of my we're in the middle of my streamline process here. or streamlining my thoughts rather. I do think that it would go more along the lines of like spiky-eared Pichu, because they would have to then take into account for competitive reasons, like if those Pokemon are, if it's just like an aesthetic change, that's fine. But with most specific or like with Pokemon like that, like with the spiky-eared Pichu, you weren't able to trade out of the game for that specific reason, because they wouldn't be able to account for it in like online compatibility stuff. So if they don't run into that issue, they would be fine. If it's just like an aesthetic change that doesn't change the stats or anything, that'd be fantastic. But if not, Jesus, Banana Butters, thank you so much for the bits. I really appreciate you. Oh, you guys are showing me love today, and I really appreciate it. Pokemon Day is tomorrow, and I will be live, guys. Well, let me not say that. I'm sorry. I will be covering Pokemon Day. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I will be working though, so I don't know if I can be live. But if I can sneak it, I definitely will. I definitely will.
That's the thing I hate is like, yo, Pokemon Company, can you just put that in the afternoon? Like, do you guys know what 5 p.m. means? Like, there's a thing called 5 p.m. Like I don't want to have to, like, it's like I wake up in the morning, I'm already like in work, and then after I have to be like, oh, like I'm doing the job, and I'm just like why? But one thing I would like to see, let's just say like the Pokemon Pocopia Pokemon could go into the main games via like Gen 10. Maybe they could do something to where, like, you guys know in like the Pokemon home app on the mobile phone, right? And
Mhm. Yeah.
like if you catch all of the Pokemon in like that specific game, how you can get like a shiny um legend mythical Pokemon, right? And if you guys didn't know that, yo, bro, download Pokemon Home and start getting your Pokédex done and stuff like that, bro. And make sure you put that in the Pokemon Home, because you can actually get shiny mythical Pokemon if you complete the Pokédex, but it has to be that specific game or so like that. So if it's BDSP, you got to get all the Pokemon and BDSP into it, and then you'll get your mythical. But I was thinking that maybe Pocopia might have like some type of like in-game like achievements or so like that like that's tied to Pokemon Home.
Mhm.
And with those ties, maybe it's like, all right, yo, you got this many people into your village, or you completed this part of the game or so like that, and then you get a mystery gift of Pikachu or Moslax or so. Like, I think that like that would be a great way to like incorporate Home. I feel like more Pokemon games need a, like, they should do stuff like that with Home, because I'm not gonna lie, it makes me want to play it makes me want to use Pokemon Home. It makes me want to like complete my Pokédex or play older games to like complete my Pokédex or so like that with those like mystery gifts. The only thing I hate about that is that, like, yo, it's just you don't get your name. Like, it's just like, oh, Home or so like that. It's the only thing I hate. It's like I like it with my own trainer tag, but
That's
yeah,
true.
like that's
Fellas, real quick before we hop into that next topic, though, I do have to get going. It is getting kind of late for me. Because I got to get up and get to work early in the morning tomorrow. But I appreciate you guys for asking me to join, asking me to put my 2 cents in here. It's been a lot of fun hanging with y'all. I hope that we can do more stuff like this in the future. Maybe after we experience the 30th anniversary tomorrow, we can come back. We can do some kind of collaboration where we all discuss what happened in the 30th, or just kind of see what we got going on. But y'all can hit me in the DMs with that. If you guys haven't already, please go ahead and give SargePlayz some love, and go ahead and give Jason Hendricks some love. I tagged their information, or sorry, Noah tagged their information because he's a G. Up right there above, it's in my pinned comment, so you guys can go ahead and go to their links. Are you guys going to continue the discussion for much longer?
it's all up to Sarge.
I'm chilling. I'm good. We can
So
keep
go
going for a little
ahead,
bit longer.
head over to their channels so they can continue the discussion with you guys. You guys can continue to hang out. I have to peace out though. I am getting a little tired, and I do have work early.
Yeah.
I appreciate y'all. Really, this was awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
man.
I
It's good
definitely
meeting
had
you, man.
to, hit you up and stuff like that, because, like I said, if I were to do a collaboration, it's like these two people are like my friends in the Pokemon community and stuff like that. Like, I've known Oblivio for like when I started streaming. Like literally, like that was like my first collab. Like basically, like he taught me how to play VGC, stuff like that, how to competitive battle in a way. So it's like, like of course I was like, yo, because I hit up Sarge. I was like, yo, I need to hit up Oblivio too, because I was like, it only makes it's only right or something like that, where it's like, showing love to people who was here in the beginning and stuff like that, and like, we gotta, if I were to grow with some people, it'd probably be people that like I appreciate, so like, which is via you guys. So I was like, yeah, nah, let me go contact you guys. Let's go get this done.
Appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all. I'm gonna hit you guys in the DMs for right now, though. I'm gonna head off to bed. I'm pretty tired.
Yeah.
All right, man. Get some rest. You have a good night.
You too,
Thank
man.
you too. Appreciate you guys.
Peace. And another thing too, if you guys want to check out Trainer Oblivio, his links are in the description and stuff. So it's just gonna be me and Sarge and stuff, like as I try to fix some things real quickly. But Sarge, yo, how do you feel about like oh no, I deleted something different. Okay, but how do you feel about the
My whole
Pokemon community
Discord
in just general?
my whole Discord thing just kind of like broke, and now it looks all weird, like it's half of our face.
Damn.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry. What was your question?
How do you feel about like the like the Pokemon community in just in general?
Ooh, Pokemon community in
Like,
general.
like
Hmm. I'd say for the most part, it's cool. You know, Pokemon community has been pretty cool. I will say this: it's a lot better than the anime fighting game community that I was a part of.
really?
Yeah, because that community is like, whoa. But yeah, I mean, like, the Pokemon community is cool. Everybody's like pretty chill. They help each other out. From things I see like on different groups and stuff like that, everybody's like super, helpful. Even from like content creator communities, right? The chat's always helpful, and especially that's one thing that kind of drew me um to stick around with your community when I don't even remember how I found you. I think it was just I was scrolling on Twitch, and I kind of was like chilling, and I lurked for a bit, and like I could just see how like your community was moving, and I was like, this is dope. Like this is fire. But just like every other community, you have your other half that is very unbearable and
Mm,
crazy, and I think I dealt with a good chunk of those people
yeah.
um a couple of days ago. But honestly, man, I I love it. Pokemon's been a part of my life for a long time, so community's always been fire.
Yeah, man. It's like that's the thing too. Is like, when it comes to like, just Pokemon in general or so like that, like I feel like at a certain point, like the Pokemon community is either very spoiled or they're just not happy enough or so like that. Because it's like any other game franchise, they don't last 30 years. Like let's keep it a stack. Like how many gaming franchises that that's like still here? Like at the end of the day, it's like yo, at least we still have, you know, this franchise that we all love. And it's like, bro, at the end of the day, like the community and stuff like that, like most funnest, most helpful people or so too. Like it's really fun, but I feel like with any other community or fandom, you're gonna have good eggs and you're gonna have bad eggs. Like stop complaining about
Exactly.
Windows is hilarious. And the true Pokemon community is chill, but scalpers and people in it just for the money need to chill. Yeah, 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 I agree. But it's like that's the thing, like, when it comes to like just Pokemon and just in general, you know, I love the community overall. The good and the bad, like, because Pokemon, at least, like, they make it fun. Like, you know, you can speculate. Like, there's so many things. Like, not a lot of companies are doing Pokemon Day. Like, there isn't a Call of Duty Day.
Dude, okay, so I don't know if you noticed, but The Legend of Zelda just had its 40th anniversary.
Yeah.
What did we hear about it?
We didn't even get anything.
We did nothing. I'm like,
we got nothing. Maybe the movie.
Nothing.
Like, crazy, that's it. It's like, crazy. Oh, there's a movie coming out. I don't know if I'm gonna watch it, but like, I'm just like, it's like the Mario movie. Like, I'm gonna watch it. That's it. So like that. Like, I'm not gonna go crazy over it. Like, but the thing is that, like, you know, like, I feel like, any community though, it could get toxic. But it's like, there's two different extremes in, like, everything in life. Like, there's the people in the middle, like us. And then you have the people that's diehard. And then you have the people that's like, bro, they hate everything. You just go on Twitter. Just go on Pokemon Twitter, bro. If you want to see hate spewed on the internet, or you want to get spoiled, like I did with ZA. Right? Every time I open up the app, I saw Mega Zygarde before, like, the game even came out, like, a week beforehand. I'm telling people in the Discord, please don't go on Twitter, bro. You're going to see everything you don't want to see.
And it's not even like you're proactively searching it. It's just like the first post that pops up.
Yes, it's the first post that pop up when you open it. It's like, that's what I'm saying. It's like, it's not like I can anticipate it, like, oh, this looks bad. But that's the thing about the Pokemon community. How do you feel about the leakers and stuff like that? Like, do you feel like they ruined the fun of Pokemon?
Yeah.
And are you happy about the Switch 2? That they can't, unless, like, Terra leaks, they can't do it no more.
1000%. But the thing is too, is like, I'll say rumors. Rumors are, when you make rumor videos, right? Hearsay and stuff like that, it's fun because you get to speculate what you think might happen. When it's actual leaks, they're still kind of rumors, right? Because you don't really know how authentic these quote unquote leaks are.
Like 4chan.
But it kind of, right. It kind of gave us things to talk about, and it kind of gave us, some things to make content on when the Pokemon season was kind of dry. But in the end, I think the problem is leaks just ruined a lot of communities, especially the Pokemon community, right? Because there's a lot of things that we get to talk about, but at the same time, it's like we know for a fact, the closer that we get to the release of whatever we're expecting, something's bound to happen to just spoil it. And I can't tell you how many times that's happened. So I'm glad the Switch 2 is where it's at right now. Can it eventually be hacked? Maybe, probably down the line, but I'm glad for right now, going forward, we won't be able to get data mines and all that stuff. We can just finally get to experience it the way it was intended.
Like, because I miss the good old days. Like, I was watching Pokemon news and stuff like that, like, a decade ago. Like, or 2 decades ago at this point. Like, basically, I remember, like, there was Coral leaks, and then that's it. Like, basically, every month or every other month, it's either there's a Coral leak. Basically, if anybody that's in here that's young, basically it's a magazine, and like I remember people used to fake the magazine scans and stuff. People used to fake the magazine scans and stuff like that. Like, I remember what game did they fake? They made Pokemon Brown and stuff like that, and they made it look so believable at one point. But it's like, I remember, like, back in the day where it's like, you just wait for that. Or like the Pokemon people, like, it was way more different. Like, nowadays it's like there's just people that's just out here just making random shit. Or like they just go into like these Reddits and stuff like that and just be like, all right, I just found a new one of the day. Let's go talk about it. Which I still appreciate, because, you know, like one thing about Pokemon is like, yo, you love a good speculation at the end of the day. So it's like, oh, that was right, because you're gonna forget. I'm not gonna lie, at least for me, like every time I watch a video that talks about a Pokemon leak or so like that, bro, the next day I'm like, yo, oh, there's a new one. Oh, what's this about? Oh, somebody's grandfather works at Nintendo, and you know he got fired today, so he's decided to tell you everything about the game and then tell us. I appreciate you, which I'm still surprised how some people are not sued if they actually are telling the truth, because some of them actually did hit. Like I find it so funny whenever somebody was actually telling the truth on like Reddit or whatever the other one is, and they're like, "Oh, that was actually right this whole time."
Then you get these people that are like really good at like using, I guess, Blender or whatever it is to like make fake looking Pokemon. And then they
Yeah,
digitally alter the picture to make it look like it was taken off of a screen, like in an awkward position to be like, oh, we got the leaks of a new, you know, it's like, oh, you
yeah,
guys got nothing better to do.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, at that point, it's like, because it, like, yo, like I said, like, there's trolls that people, they just want to stir the pot
Oh yeah.
and stuff. And then there's certain people that's just like, yo, bro, I just want to troll. I remember the Oshawott silhouette fan art. Oh, yeah, you remember it was, what's it, like, not a raccoon, but it was like, like a
Oh my
tanuki.
gosh.
It was a
Yeah.
tanuki, I think, if I remember straight. Yeah, it was like a tanuki. And like I said, yo, guys, yo, please make sure you hit the like button. Let more people be able to see
I
this.
think wasn't it a platypus with like a big old acorn on his face?
Yeah. Like there were so many different ones, yo. So many people like drew on top of the
Oh my
silhouette.
god.
Like, yo, I remember, that's just, yo, guys, I remember the rollout for like Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver. I remember like black and white. Black and white, yo, it was like there's like a Japanese Pokemon show that like would always like there might be something. So I remember like back in the old days of Pokemon, like, yo, you would like literally watch a YouTuber that's literally just like screen sharing watching the Japanese TV show, and we're just like, yo, is there gonna be something new? Like Pokemon, we grew as a community, and like I said, like this is why like people really love Pokemon or so like that. Like I feel like I grew with the game. Like I'm happy that Pokemon, as you guys can see up here, is like, yo, 30th anniversary. Like I don't see any other, like, I love a lot of many other games, but Pokemon does it for me.
Yeah. It's one of those games, it's just one of those franchises that it's got a little bit of everything for everybody. And, you know, as it keeps growing, you know, the only thing I regret um about Pokemon was like, I don't know, I don't want to say if I regret it, but it was just hard growing up, you know, being a fan of Pokemon, collecting cards with your friends, you know, playing the games, boom, boom, boom. And then you started growing up and it was like, well, now you're moving into like sports or you're moving into
Yeah.
this and that. And then like people started looking at you weird and it wasn't cool. You know, you were made fun of, you were picked on. And it's like, then you left it alone. And that's what happened with me. It's like I left it alone. I got involved in sports and I did all this other stuff. And there was a big gap in my life that I left Pokemon behind. And, you know, I sucks. But being able to come back to it and enjoy it still to this day is like it's awesome. And there's people that are still like our age that have never really been into it, getting into it, and they're having fun with it. So that's the beautiful thing about this franchise. There's something for everybody. Even people that don't even like Pokemon or don't even know what it is, they look at Pikachu and they're like, "Oh yeah, that's Pikachu."
Yeah.
You know, it's just it's
Yeah.
iconic.
Yeah. And it's just like you said, where it's like, you know, it's like being a kid and you like anime, and then like everybody was making fun of you. And then after that, like when you're like older, everybody likes anime now. Like, bro, you wasn't y'all talking about, yo, if you over here watching Naruto, you get no women. But like I remember like back when I was like a youth, like I think that I was always like not I just probably didn't care, or like because I was at a certain point I was just antisocial with people. But like
Yeah.
I always told people like, yo, bro, I play Pokemon. Like all my friends, all they did was play 2K, Madden, Call of Duty, all that stuff. And I'm like, yo, bro, I'm not playing this. I'm playing Final Fantasy, Pokemon, Digimon. I'm playing all this stuff. Like, and I'm not gonna lie, like, did it make me like kind of like look weird? But it's like, I like for me, like I plus I never brought my shit to school. Like I've never brought like I was talking about this the other day. Like, yo, bro, I never brought nothing to school, bro. Like these kids was stealing and stuff like that. They're taking stuff in during whenever it's a gym class, and bro, you got some nice sneakers or you got like a nice phone or something like that. They going into your lockers. There's always that one student who's sneakily walking in back inside the locker room trying to like steal shit. So I was like, yo, I'd never like try to bring stuff, and then my whole experience was like people would like they would be like, oh, like this guy likes Call of Duty or something like that, or he likes 2K. So like my experience was like when I talk to people, they're like, oh, like you don't like Pokemon, you ain't know nothing, or like I don't really respect you. And then after that, when I'm like, oh, like I play Pokemon, I do all this stuff, and they're like, oh wow, this guy is different. I like him and stuff like that. So it's always been that because it's like, but I understand where you're coming from, where it's like, yo, you stop playing it because it's either like Pokemon. Sometimes I grow like I felt that way a little
Yeah.
bit when Gen 7 came out, where it's like, yo, I kind of stopped playing it. Like I played it, like I played Heart, Sun and Moon, Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. But then after that, I was like, yo, bro, like I don't like this. And then like when Pokemon came out on the Switch, like I played it to beat it, and then that was it. I feel like once Sword and Shield came out, but more importantly Legends Arceus, that's when like my love of Pokemon came back, because like at that time it's like shiny hunting and stuff like that, like all that stuff, like it just like it gave me a new love and a new appreciation, because it's like I was very casual until like now where I'm more like I want to get competitive and all that stuff. But it's like, you know, a lot of people how they play Pokemon is you play the game and you beat it and you just wait for the next one. And
Yeah, you
that's
put
it.
it down. You're done.
But the more that you realize, yo, there's a lot more content, or like there's a lot more things to do. And I feel like, you know, there's the casual community, like, trust me, I'm playing Legends EA trying to shiny hunt alphas, and it's like watching paint dry. I'd rather get rejected by the girl I like than like freaking shiny hunting Legends Arceus right now. Like I'd rather watch paint dry at this point. But it's it's that feeling that you get where it's like, all right, yo, I got something that's unique, or I got something that like, and I wish that like more people would see it, or like it's just like with Pokemon is like the fans of Pokemon are making people from the outside not like Pokemon, because they're way too critical of a company that like, bro, these people just probably just like, all right, let's just give them this and that's it. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
like, you know, you when you go to work, or like when you see a company, you're like, oh my god, like, yo, they're so professional, or they do this XYZ. And I'm guaranteed a lot of us been through this, where it's like, yo, this company is solid, and then you start working at the company, you're like, wait, this is a mess. How do people like look at this in the outside and think that this is straight? I'm guaranteed Pokemon company is the same way, where it's like, bro, some people over there probably not coding right, so we might have issues. But like, you know, due to like nostalgia, you know, people just like playing it.
Yeah. And I think I was like in that category too. Like when I was young, you know, because when we're younger, we're playing the game, you know, we're not taking it seriously. And I was casual. I played, beat the Elite Four, became the champion, and you know, called it a day. And you know, now when I got back into it, because after I had that little bit of an absence, I came back Gen 6. So X and Y was like my first title back into Pokemon.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's a heck of a title to come back to because now you're being introduced to like mega evolutions. And you're
Yeah.
just like,
Yeah.
whoa,
Very
what is
much.
going on here, right? And then
Yeah.
Gen 7 came out, and I was like, all right, that's cool. And then Gen 8 came out, and I was like, all right, cool. Sword and Shield's kind of fire. And then now we were at where we're now about to have Gen 10. But I don't know, man. I think like it was just a weird time to go through those like phases, like, oh, you still play Pokemon, or this and this, and it's like
Yeah.
people now want to like have the Pokemon stuff because it's a cool thing to have now. It's like
Yeah.
it kind of sucks, man. But I'm just glad we're in a spot right now where it's
Yeah.
like it's more socially accepted
Like anime.
and people don't like anime, exactly, right?
Like anime.
Yeah, 100%, and
But
now
like,
people can enjoy it without feeling, the judgment we felt when we were younger.
yeah. And that's why, like, when I say it's like, bro, like, if you like something, don't let anybody like deter you from it, bro. Just be you at the end of the day, because it's like, yo, you only have one life to live. And it's like, yo, if you like something, bro, like, there there's gonna be people who might make fun of you or who might not agree with you. But that's why you have to like put yourself in situations where you're like, I'm with like-minded people. Like when people were like kind of like, because it's like, yo, you tell a girl you like playing Pokemon, she might look at you crazy. Or if you hang out with a chick and she see you shiny hunting, and she's like, why you keep restarting the stream? I got the iPad for you. Go watch your Kardashians on that. So
And
it's
and
like,
the
I
one
just
thing
want to
too,
restart his shiny hunt. That's why
to all my
I like the Switch, because I
yeah,
could just take it out the thing when I get in trouble.
to all my guys in the chat, man, just don't ever feel like you gotta like hide who you are, hide what you enjoy just to impress somebody.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, bro,
That
you
goes for the
got,
girls too.
yeah. Cause like
If
I
they
feel
can't
like,
accept you, then it is what it is.
you know what I'm saying? Like I feel like if if you come across as you, like that's it. Like you're genuinely you. People are faking. People got facades and stuff, and it's like, bro, this is what I like. This is what I like to do. That you don't like it, that's on you. I'm gonna go live my life. That's it, and stuff like that. And sometimes you just gotta cut off people, because it's like, and find people that's very like minded. You see, like Boat Boy,
Yeah.
he say his girlfriend likes Pokemon. Like, you just gotta put yourself around people with the same interests, and you ain't never gotta worry about what other people think about you. Because if you got people in your circle that rock with you, you ain't never gotta worry about nothing. And that's the thing about Pokemon, where it's like, yo, thank God we're in a situation where it's likable.
Yeah. So let me ask you this before we wrap this up. Do you think that they will announce, and I really doubt it, but do you think like when they go through the process of like getting all the stuff out of the way in the beginning, like, oh, we got this update, this update, this update. Oh, hey, by the way, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, we're bringing back some new Terra raids in case you missed it. Here you can catch Walking Wake for the
Bro, I'm
15th
gonna throw my phone at the freaking floor, bro. Let them say, "Oh, we have a new Skeptile raid." Who asked? Like, bro, skip that. Like, that's if they do show something like that, it better be like that plot of land that's like grayed out. Like, we could finally be able
Oh,
to go over
right?
there. Like,
Like
if
what
it's
is with
not
that?
that, Scarlet and Violet, yo, yeah, you got the Switch 2 update that you needed and stuff like that, bro. Like, give me something different. Like, basically, all I want to see personally is hopefully more Gen 3 ports. XD and Coliseum get like release dates, or they get one of them gets shadow dropped or so like that. And then like we get, it's just like Pokemon Stadium 1 and then Stadium 2, how they're like, Stadium 1 comes out this year, and then next year April the next one comes out. So it's like, I
Yeah.
hope that like, we get like just like XD Gale of Darkness, Coliseum. We get hopefully more Gen 3 ports, and like Pokemon Champion Shadow Drop, or like give us a date. If they give us a date, I'll be happy. And like, like I said, like I really hope that Pokemon Company like the shiny Pokemon that you can get in the XD Gale of Darkness and Coliseum games. I hope that like to give people an incentive, those shiny Pokemon, you can like bring those over. Like they look like the shinies in those games. That would be crazy. That would be crazy.
I hope so, man. I really do. But I think what I'm hoping for, I'm not hoping for it, but I'm kind of got my fingers crossed that they finally give us like the last piece of Legends EA, right?
Yeah.
And I don't. I was thinking about it too, and what I had mentioned, I was like, I don't know if they would do like a whole new like second DLC, but I think like what they did with Scarlet and Violet when they gave us that epilogue story for the oh my god, what is that Pokemon's
Yeah, it was
name? Peach
Patron.
Petra, something like that.
Petra.
Yeah, give us like a little epilogue story. Add in whatever new megas you want, and then call it a day. We'll move on, and we'll be getting ready to go for the next one. But because there's some things that are in there that we haven't seen yet that they need to find a way to release. And if they do a whole DLC, at least make part of the region explorable. That's the only way I can see it working. But that would probably be the only thing that I predict for tomorrow would be the announcement of home connectivity and a potential epilogue for Legends EA.
Yeah, but the thing too about like the home connectivity, I hope when they do say that Pokemon Champions happens beforehand, so that they can be like, okay, when the Pokemon from like ZA, all of the Pokemon or something could get pushed into Pokemon Champions.
Yeah.
Like if they give us something like that, that'd be solid.
I don't know, man, because I'm thinking about the previous Pokemon days, right? And I'm like, have they really done anything that just out of nowhere, just like, oh, hey, wait, before we go, one last thing. And it's like, boom, like the big out of the park thing.
I feel like it was Scarlet and Violet.
Right. But I'm thinking
in
like,
Legends Arceus.
Would they go that same route with like Gen 10, or would they go through the event, show us everything that we need to know, drop the Gen 10 starters or like a trailer or whatever the case is. And then even after that, they'd be like, oh, by the way, one more thing. Next month on this date, Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald are coming as a.
Oh, bro, like, I would scream. I'm not going to cap. I'll be so happy. I'll be so happy.
And then they bring, or gold and silver. It was like, oh my God, that would be like fire.
Heart Gold and Soul Silver would be crazy.
I hope they would do something like that because
I'm not gonna lie,
something to just really knock it out of the park this year.
One thing that like I hope that they do, but they're probably not gonna do. I hope that they say that they drop the shiny rate from like 8,000 to 4,000. Like the same shiny rate that we get in modern day, like that would make me be like, you know what? Even though you can't play online, they gave us that one favor. I'm cool. I'm happy.
I had somebody in my comments say, I'm so excited for this. I cannot wait to start shiny hunting the legendary beast. I'm like, hey man, best of luck to you, bro.
I hope you got both games, and just remember in Fire Red and Leaf Green, your starters. So if you already got a shiny Suicune like me, don't get Charmander.
Yep. I'm excited, man. I'm excited. So
I'm still getting a Charmander.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm gonna let the Suicune do roar and just go away.
Never to be seen again.
Yeah.
I put a joke thing with my community the other day when I did that video about the bingo board.
Yeah.
I have a section on the bingo board for fans being upset.
Yeah, no, I saw that, like
yeah. I think that's gonna be a guaranteed one. So I'm gonna be watching
nobody's gonna be happy. Nobody's gonna be happy. Like that's the thing.
Somebody's gonna be mad at something as soon as this is taking too long. Hurry up and get started. Boom, there it is. Somebody's already upset.
Yo, so I need to learn more about Pokemon. I think XD has been delayed for so long, and then somebody said I want Purple Charizard back. We don't need Purple Charizard. We don't need Barney. I'm good.
Yeah, no, we need to know more about Pokemon XP because they dropped it at the World Championship last year, and it was just like, what is this thing? They haven't told us anything about XP.
You know, so crazy though. Like I really want to go to like one of those championship things because like there's people that literally give out like mystery gift Pokemon from like old games, or they give you like Eon ticket access, and I'm like, bro, I got 2 GBAs, yo. I don't know if they do like one person at a time, but I'm like, bro, I'll give you $50 or I'll give you $100. Let me get all of them. Let me get like, yo, I'll stand here. Let me do all that. It's like I need that.
I don't know if you've seen that guy. I forgot what his name, Professor Rex or something like that. I know
Yeah, like I
he
think
takes
that's his
those.
name.
Yeah, he takes like these kits and like he hooks people up, and I'm like, man, that's crazy. But I would love to go to a world championship just to experience it one time.
Yeah, man. Like I like yo, like when Pokemon Champion comes out, like I really want to like start going out competitively battling and stuff. Like I think that'd be fire. Like that'd be super fire. Mega
Yes,
fire.
sir. So my predictions for tomorrow: we get the Gen 10 starter reveal. We get ZA home compatibility. Uh, I'm hoping Champions is a shadow drop. If not, maybe a in-depth look of it with the release date. Fans being mad at some point in time.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I had Fire Red and Leaf Green on there, but since we already got it, I guess I can swap it out for Gale of Darkness and you know, um, something for ZA epilogue, more Pokemon coming to Pokemon Unite, and then either probably like I don't even know if they would do anything for Pokopia since it's going to come out the following week, maybe like a final trailer or something. But I'm pretty sure TCG Pocket's going to get some love. Pokemon Go is going to get love. All the TV shows. But yeah, I don't have any more expectations other than that.
Yeah.
I'm really hoping. I don't want to get my hopes up too high, but I'm hoping they kind of drop like a bomb tomorrow and like be like, "Whoa, nobody saw that coming."
Yeah. To be honest with you, my hopes are up high. As long as they drop like just the old classic games, I'll be pretty much happy. Like I just want a shadow drop of XD Gale of Darkness. If they say that we could purchase it and own it,
Yeah.
I if it's $30 because lastings and stuff like that, like bro, you guys want to know how much Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness costs or Pokemon Coliseum? Bro, you're gonna pay $200. Another one you're gonna pay $300. Those games need to come down in prices. Like, bro, when I paid for like the GameCube and all that stuff, like when I paid for both of those games, bro, Pokemon is a very expensive hobby. Like Pokemon is a very expensive hobby to have. And it's like it's not pay to win, it's just like access or so like that. Like it's just like cosmetics.
Would you be opposed to like? I don't even want to think about how the community would have acted if this happened, but would you be opposed to them bringing the older generation Pokemon games to both NSO and as a standalone purchase?
Bro, I hope they have it. I think that I think it's a positive thing. Like I miss virtual console. I think that like Nintendo is really like doing us wrong because it's like when it comes to Xbox, you can still buy Xbox games and play games on Xbox. When it comes to PlayStation, you could play PlayStation 2, PSP. I don't know about PlayStation Vita, but like you can, and I think PlayStation 3 games. When it comes to like Nintendo, like they need to give us more games. And then like speaking about like that, right? A lot of people are mad about how Pokemon Company is giving us this, like they're not doing too much with Fire Red and Leaf Green. There is a game called Mega Man Battle Network Legacy, right? When that game came
Hmm.
out, like Sarge, if you have that game, I want you to put a video where you go online, right? That game came out on the GBA, right? Just look it up. It came out on the GBA with a classic collection where you could battle people online, right? You can collect the cards, you could trade people cards, exclusive cards and stuff like that. And there's an online battle mode. It was popping for maybe a month or two. Nobody battles online like that. Not saying that it's not going to happen to Pokemon because there's more people that play it, but the people are saying there's no borders. Bro, I play the game with no borders on my Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection. I really feel like people just like overblowing it. Like when I play Pokemon Fire Red on like my GameCube, and like, bro, I turn everything to black. I don't want to see no GameCube borders. Like I just turn it to black, and then it's just me playing the game like that. Like, is it annoying? Do I want a full screen? 1,000%. But these are GBA games. The thing about GBA games is if you want it to fit your screen, your game is not gonna look nice. It's gonna look stretched, right? It just can't do it unless you want them to rebuild the game. And if they do, make it HD 2D, like that freaking fan game that like got that trailer today. I think it was called Pokemon Fix. It was all like, yo, that looked crazy. It's like HD. It's like everything I want a classic Pokemon game to look like.
This is a question for both of our chats and to you as well. With the announcement of Fire Red Leaf Green, do you think that if they would have dropped it as its own standalone remake, like they did BDSP, would it have gotten a better reaction? Or do you think it would have just pissed people off more, saying, well, why are you remaking these old games? Just give us the originals.
I think that
I honestly think no matter what they did with Fire Red Leaf Green, nobody's happy.
Like unless they did HD 2D or something like that, or it just looked different in a way, like maybe there'd still be people that's mad, but like, you know, yeah, I don't know. Yo, Jack O'Reilly, I got you. Digon remake or a remake? Yeah. I would say like they would have to do something like that. Like they would have to make it look different. Which like there's no point. We have Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. Like, yo, if you want to battle somebody online, there's Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. Battle on that.
Somebody said on a Twitter space, they said, why would you re-release Fire Red and Leaf Green for $20 when people can go buy Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee? I was like,
it's $20.
Yeah, okay. It's $20, bro. You want them to go spend a full $60 for Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee?
Yeah. I don't know, bro. Yo, man. And Jack, yo, what Pokemon game? And we gonna have to probably do this another time. But yo, Jack, just hit the subscribe, and you know, we got you. If you wanted, if there's a Pokemon, go into the Discord or something like that, and I could help you out in the Discord for a trade. So like, Jack, this man gave the whole ID.
No, here's my ID. Trade me now.
Yeah, yo, Jack, yo, what game? Like you didn't even tell me the game that to trade, but like I could do it. Like I could trade you, but like I don't know if it's gonna be like this week. It could be next week, or if you have Discord, then you know, I can help you or so like that on Discord, or like next week, because depending on what game and stuff like that. But like, Sarge, do you have like any last words or so?
I just want to thank everybody for being here. This was a dope idea. I didn't know how it was gonna work.
I told you, yo, just
the vibes were dope.
I got you.
Yeah. No, the vibes were dope. This was great. I'm glad everything worked out, and I'm glad all the communities were able to come together and kind of just vibe out and share their thoughts and opinions. And I think like Oblivio said, we got to do it again. We got to run it back and compare notes for how Pokemon Day went. But first and foremost, I just want to say thank you guys for all the support and the mad love you've been showing on the channel. Secondly, Jason, thank you for having me on, man. It's always a pleasure to work with you. It's always a pleasure being in your chat. Likewise. And you got a W community, man. And no matter what, they always got your back.
Yeah, man. And like I said, man, like Sarge, I swear to God, like this man gonna blow up and stuff like that. and like I said, presentation is clean and stuff like that. Like it's really clean.
I need Austin John's plug, bro. I need to know who gave him Pocopia early today so I
Bro,
can get
the
my
thing
copy
is
today.
that like when you get that big, like the companies just give it to you. Like my older brother or something like that, he was like a Nintendo ambassador back in the day. And like, yo, like they just send you the game. They just be like, yo, who wants this game to come? Like, who wants this game? And all you have to do is like, yo, I'll take it. And then they'll just send it to your house. All you have to say is, thank you, Nintendo. And that's it.
Yeah.
Where can I play Fire Red? Bro, that's your last question. You could play on the Nintendo Switch 1 and the Nintendo Switch 2, and you could buy it in at 9 p.m. or 9:30 or 9:50. You could probably play Fire Red. I think that's gonna be the theme of the night, yo. Where can you play Fire Red? Like I think that's tomorrow that I'm gonna be playing Pokemon Fire Red, and people's gonna be like, yo, Jason, when can I download Fire Red? I'm like, bro, I'm literally playing it. It's like my Fire Red copy is in my freaking GameCube. Like I'm not. It's on. You could stream it, but now I feel like everybody's gonna start asking me when can you play Fire Red. It's like you didn't watch the Nintendo Direct. But yeah, like yo, my last thoughts is and stuff like that, guys. Yo, listen. First and foremost, I just want to thank Oblivio and Sarge for coming to do this with me. I felt like, you know, Pokemon and stuff like that is a really great game. It's really great community and stuff like that. And you know, doing it with people that you have fun with makes everything even better. And I just want to say thank you to everybody in the chat and stuff. Like hopefully all of you guys enjoyed the podcast and stuff like that. And this is the first of many and stuff like that. Like I said, like Pokemon Day, there's gonna be multiple events and stuff like that in the future, even Nintendo Directs and stuff like that. So it's like,
True.
you know, we could always just there's a new Nintendo Direct. What we gonna think is gonna happen? Not an indie Direct though. Not on the indie Direct, but
Yeah.
but you know, like I said, we want to give you the content that y'all want or something like that, and people want to hear the discussion, so we got it for you. Well, if anything, guys, I think it's the best way to end off live and stuff like that. I think it's the best way and stuff, yo. On a good note, yo, make sure to get Pokemon Pocopia if you haven't. Pokemon Pocopia is literally you could pre order it and it's gonna preload in your system and you can look at your screen for 2 weeks. So, and yeah, make sure you stay tuned because you know we're gonna be playing Fire Red and stuff like that. So, you know, we're both live. Make sure you guys check out the description if you guys want to see the people and stuff like that, or just click the title because their names is like there. So, show them some love.
Appreciate you guys.
Yeah, facts. Well, if anything, guys, me boy Jason Hendricks. I'm with SargePlayz and TrainerOblivioYT, and we are pretty much out of here. Good night, everybody. Hit the like, comment, subscribe, hit all that. Hit the subscribe button too, and the like button. It works. It's free. Peace. W Podcast.